Chapter 1731, 5 Regional Formation. Chapter 1731, 5 Regional Formation. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Infallible Blessed Land Battlefield. The tornado resembling a heavenly pillar whipped up a storm as it crashed towards Heavenly Court's formation. Prince Feng Xian and Ba Shi, who were outside, stared at the horizon. There, 2 specks of light tore through the sky. The figures of 2 rank 8 Gu immortals were shown gradually. They were Li Huang and Qin Yi. We finally arrived. Not bad, we were not late. Li Huang and Qin Yi had finally arrived. Where is that scoundrel Feng Yuan? Li Huang's eyes shined with orange-red light. He tried to investigate. He was filled with grudge towards Feng Yuan. Earlier when Feng Yuan retreated, he purposely chose the opposite direction of infallible blessed land. He made Li Huang and the others go very far away. After that, Feng Yuan found a chance to use fixed immortal travel and arrived at infallible blessed land. Li Huang and the rest were left in the dust. Central Continent's heavenly court did not have beacon towers. Li Huang and Qin Yi had to rush to infallible blessed land through a very long distance. They should be inside the formation. Qin Yi responded, his gaze swept past the formation and landed on the unlimited wind. This killer move is very strong. It is very threatening to our formation, we should get rid of it. This Wu Yong has such a killer move and farewell friend wind, if possible, we should try to kill him. If he returns to southern border, he will be a huge problem for Heavenly Court in the future. Li Huang and Qin Yi discussed before they changed directions, moving towards the unlimited wind killer move. Prince Feng Xian and Ba Shi had sensed them already, they also rushed there. Go! Prince Feng Xian shouted as he waved his sleeves. Hundreds of fireballs blew out. You're using fire to attack me? Laughable. Li Huang snorted and did not dodge. Verdant Sun Flame Cloak was blazing on his back. Prince Feng Xian's fireballs landed on Li Huang but did not cause any damage, it even increased the power of Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. Prince Feng Xian's expression did not change, he pointed at Li Huang. Whoosh! The flames on Li Huang turned purple instantly. The purple flames infiltrated the orange-red Verdant Sun Flame Cloak as it tried to disintegrate the defensive killer move. Li Huang's expression changed. Prince Feng Xian wanted to keep him busy, he charged towards Li Huang. The two fought in the sky, causing blazing flames to emerge and scorch the earth. The temperature of the battlefield was rising. Ba Shi watched Prince Feng Xian's battle as he thought, this Prince Feng Xian is still acting, he is really well concealed. Feng Yuan's side left Prince Feng Xian and Ba Shi outside to guard the formation. Ba Shi had already been informed of Prince Feng Xian's identity through Wu Yong, but he pretended to not know. It was like how Wu Yong and Feng Yuan predicted, unless it was necessary, Prince Feng Xian did not want to expose his identity. The truth was, Heavenly Court would rather make some sacrifices than to expose Prince Feng Xian. During the 5 regions chaotic war, he would have more value. Prince Feng Xian and Li Huang were fire path rank 8s, the two fought in the sky before fighting on the ground. They dyed the sky red, they made rivers dry up, the ground cracked from their attacks, clouds vaporized, countless lifeforms fled for their lives. Ba Shi and Qin Yi cultivated Rule Path and Dark Path respectively. Even though their fight did not cause as much of a commotion as Li Huang and Prince Feng Xian, it was much more ruthless. Li Huang knew about Prince Feng Xian's true identity, they were just acting even though the commotion was huge. But Ba Shi and Qin Yi were true enemies. Ba Shi shrieked in a strange tone as many profound light stabbed or slashed towards Qin Yi like blades or swords. 3 consecutive hits. 4 consecutive hits. 5 consecutive hits. Each profound light had moderate power, but when they landed on Qin Yi, the damage accumulated rapidly. This was the consecutive attack method that Ba Shi trained in his life. This kind of rule path supplementary killer move could allow a certain killer move to gain a huge boost in power. The condition was that Ba Shi had to use that killer move and could not change to other methods. Qin Yi was forced to retreat gradually, sweat appeared on his forehead. I cannot let him continue. Once he reaches 18 consecutive hits, my defenses will fail. Qin Yi activated an immortal killer move, his figure vanished and turned into darkness. In the sky, it was like a blob of ink had landed in water and expanded endlessly. Ba Shi saw this and hesitated. This is likely Qin Yi's signature killer move, expanding night sky. Both sides had information about each other. Ba Shi and Qin Yi had a certain level of understanding of each other. Expanding night sky was an immortal battlefield killer move. It was quite special. Normal immortal battlefields were formed after some preparation. Meanwhile, expanding night sky would continue to increase in size and range. This move had no limit in theory. As long as Qin Yi had enough time, he could even spread this immortal battlefield killer move to cover the whole of white heaven. Ba Shi flew backwards. He thought about it and decided to avoid the enemy. Expanding night sky was an immortal battlefield. If Ba Shi went in, his rule path would be weakened by the dark path environment. Of course, the bigger reason was Prince Feng Xian. Ba Shi knew that Prince Feng Xian was a traitor. If he went into the immortal battlefield, he would not be able to see anything outside. Qin Yi might even let Prince Feng Xian and Li Huang into the battlefield to deal with Ba Shi. By then, Ba Shi would have to fight 3 enemies. It would be dangerous. The battle of 2 pairs of rank 8s went into a short deadlock. A moment later, many immortal Gu houses appeared on the horizon. Among them were Frost Dragon Manor and Wind Sweeping Building. These immortal Gu houses were originally protecting Emperor City. Now that Emperor City was history, the immortal Gu houses carried all their Gu immortals and arrived here as reinforcements. Frost Dragon Manor was at the front. It started to shine in a light blue aura. The light formed into a dragon shape. It was a hornless dragon. The light blue hornless dragon opened its mouth as countless hailstones shot towards Ba Shi. Ba Shi's speed fell drastically. He snorted coldly, avoiding Qin Yi as he used his killer move on Frost Dragon Manor. Boom boom boom. Frost Dragon Manor continued to take a beating. Its walls were cracking, tiles were sent flying. As it resisted, the second light blue hornless dragon formed. It coiled around the first one before coiling around the entire Frost Dragon Manor. Frost Dragon Manor's defense surged as a result, while the light blue hornless dragon opened its mouth and shot out a tattered mysterious light. This immortal Gu house has the power to expel my killer move's damage. Ba Shi's expression sank a little. He could not destroy this immortal Gu house in a short time. If they continued, expanding night sky would trap him. He had to retreat and pull some distance now. At this time, Wind Sweeping Building entered the battlefield as well. It did not assist Qin Yi or Li Huang. Instead, it directly entered the unlimited wind killer move reaching towards the sky. Good wind, give me some time. I will be able to make this wind my own. The current generation Wind Sweeping Building Lord laughed loudly. Due to Wind Sweeping Building's interference, unlimited wind started to weaken again. More and more immortal Gu houses joined the battlefield. Fang Yuan's side was getting more perilous. Hold on, we're coming. At the crucial moment, a crack formed in the heavenly court formation. Many immortal Gu houses flew out. There were southern borders clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building, great space temple, bay pavilion, unfixed manor, as well as northern plains fingerprint bridge, demonic ape hall, and minor sun building. With these 7 immortal Gu houses helping, Ba Shi's pressure fell greatly. Both sides entered a chaotic battle. Immortal Gu houses rampaged and exchanged killer moves. Intense fireworks that had dazzling colors were created. At once, the battle was stuck in a deadlock yet again. Within the formation, Wu Yong and the rest had dark expressions. Even though they opened a crack in time and sent out the immortal Gu houses, stabilizing the situation outside, they had also expended their trump card in advance. The situation was getting more disadvantageous. Prince Feng Xian was a problem. Heavenly Court's battlefield was also hopeless. It all depended on whether Fang Yuan and the rest could destroy the formation now. At our speed, the chance of victory is becoming increasingly slim. Fang Yuan sighed as he asked, is Tao Zhu's 5 regional true inheritance able to deal with this formation? Back then, he had set a trap in the 5 regional mountain range to target the southern border and Heavenly Court Gu immortals. During the battle, Wu Yong destroyed the entire 5 regional mountain range and accidentally awakened Tao Zhu's will. He had a chance to inherit the 5 regional true inheritance. Fang Yuan had to retreat at that time, so the 5 regional true inheritance ended up in the hands of the southern border Gu immortals. According to Fang Yuan's deductions, the 5 regional true inheritance could mimic the 5 regions' regional walls. Within the regional walls, Gu immortals would be suppressed. They would face a backlash whenever they used any immortal killer move. Be it immortal Gu house or immortal formation, they were immortal killer moves in essence. Fang Yuan thought about it. If they could use the methods in the 5 regional true inheritance against Heavenly Court's formation, it might have some effect. Wu Yong and Qi Chuyu looked at each other. Wu Yong said, I obtained the 5 regional true inheritance. There is indeed a method to create the 5 regional walls in the true inheritance, but Qi Chuyu added, but this method uses the earth veins to set up the formation. It is very troublesome and complicated. Tao Zhu was able to create the 5 regional mountain range back then because he used the earth vein and the formation. After Fang Yuan left the battlefield, Wu Yong obtained the 5 regional true inheritance, but he found that the essence of it was the 5 regional formation. Wu Clan was not proficient in formation path. Wu Yong thus worked together with Qi Chuyu, as the latter also learned about the profundity of the 5 regional formation. Comment. Do we really need the earth vein to set up the 5 regional formation? Fang Yuan frowned deeply. Wait, I heard that not long ago, Ho Clan's Gu immortal obtained a wild earth vein immortal Gu from the earth trench. Can we use that Gu in place of the earth vein? The immortals heard this as they shook. Wu Yong and Qi Chuyu looked at each other, sighing at Fang Yuan's quick thinking. Qi Chuyu shook his head. The truth is, I have already obtained earth vein immortal Gu through a transaction with Ho Clan. But to use this earth vein immortal Gu in place of the actual earth vein, we will need to modify the 5 regional formation. I have been trying and have made some progress, but I am still far from success. Often, Gu immortals took years to modify one immortal killer move. Even though Qi Chuyu had high formation path attainment level, his wisdom path methods were lacking. He could not make rapid progress. Fang Yuan's eyes flickered with bright light. This 5 regional formation is likely our breakthrough chance. Qi Chuyu, even though you cannot do it alone, with me in black extremity, there is a chance. Let's try. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1732, Calamity Luck Alters Counterattack. Chapter 1732, Calamity Luck Alters Counterattack. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Infallible Blessed Land Battlefield. What are they trying to do? Chen Yi and the rest discovered the irregular behavior of Fang Yuan's group. Feng Jiugu was still pale. He sized up the situation and frowned. They are actually setting up a formation. Formation within a formation. Bai Tsang Shui snorted, they are simply underestimating us. Arranging a formation within a formation was very difficult, and this difficulty was further raised when trying to arrange the formation within an enemy's formation. Different from immortal Gu houses, immortal formations had requirements towards their surrounding environment. The surrounding natural Dao marks would have a great influence on most immortal formations. Heavenly Court side naturally would not let Fang Yuan's group do as they wished. They immediately activated the formation. Waves after waves of attacks charged towards the newly created formation base. You wish. With us here, you can set up the formation with peace of mind. Wu Yong, Yao Huang and others guarded the 4 directions around the formation base, blocking Heavenly Court's offenses. Within the formation base, Qi Chuyu, Black Extremity, and Fang Yuan were setting up a formation with urgency. 360 Fire Crow Gu have been placed. Black Extremity wiped the sweat on his forehead. We are still lacking 44 rank 5 Soul Blade Gu, when are they coming? Chi Chuyu spoke while contacting other Gu immortals. Treasure Yellow Heaven had become their most effective form of goods transportation. Fang Yuan's body shook slightly, the immortal Gu in his hand scattered down like rain that caused splattering noises. Several breaths later, he let out a breath of air and stopped his movement. Rank 6 Instant Chain Immortal Gu has been placed properly. Chi Chuyu and Black Extremity took a quick glance at him while thinking, unbelievable. Fang Yuan's Wisdom Path and Formation Path attainment levels are so high. Not only did he deduce a completely new 5 regional formation in such a short period of time, he is also setting up the immortal formation with such fluid movement. Fang Yuan's Formation Path attainment level was at Grandmaster, which was lower than Chi Chuyu's and Black Extremities, but he had plenty of experience in setting up formations. Self-Cleansing Formation, Omnidirectional Travel Ancient Battle Formation, Dragon Scale Seas Food Path Immortal Formation, Coiling Thread Gu Formation, Immemorial Year Beast Fishing Formation, Flood Discharge Formation, Self-Will Heaven Sealing Formation, Year Essence Pool, and so on had been personally set up by him. Thus, although it was his first time setting up the 5 regional formation, he was not overwhelmed but worked with great proficiency. If I had to set up the formation alone, it would take a lot of time. But with Chi Chuyu and Black Extremity's help, we can set up 5 regional formation quickly. We need to finish this quickly. Fang Yuan was fully focused and made use of every second. Heavenly Court Battlefield. Li Huang, Qinyi, and others have already reached infallible blessed land. Wu Yong's unlimited wind is suppressed by wind-sweeping building. Prince Feng Xian's identity has not been exposed. But I don't understand the intention of Fang Yuan's group in trying to set up a formation within a formation. Additionally, our reinforcements are about to reach Hidden Dragon Cave. Fairy Zi Wei reported the situation to Duke Long. Duke Long responded while fighting, although Prince Feng Xian's identity is not exposed currently, we cannot rule out the case that Fang Yuan knows about it but kept silent. You need to pay attention to this point. Let Chen Yi and the rest take note of the situation and be prepared to help out Prince Feng Xian at any time. Fairy Zi Wei, yes. Knowing that the situation was still in their grasp, Duke Long concentrated on 7 Extreme Desolation again. It is time. Duke Long clenched his claws, feeling the vast force within his body. Immortal Killer Move, Heavenly Dragon's Last Stand. After using this killer move, his lifespan could only decrease and could not be increased. At the same time, it would provide Duke Long with increasing battle strength as time passed. In a short period of time, Duke Long's battle strength had soared once again and reached an astonishing level. Roar! A dragon roar resounded as purple-gold dragon-shaped chi erupted. Boom! 7 Extreme Desolation simply could not react in time. It only saw Duke Long suddenly disappear into thin air, before it flew away like a meteor struck by boundless force. 7 Extreme Desolation was sent flying and crashed into the chi wall violently. Countless cracks appeared on the giant's body. Damn it, his speed increased again. All our investigative killer moves are blocked by Duke Long, we are simply unable to catch his trace. We will be caught in a passive state if this goes on. If this continues any longer, Duke Long's battle strength will start suppressing us completely. In that case, let's use offense as defense. We will be able to hit Duke Long as we attack in every direction with our killer moves. The 7 Big Dipper Immortals conversed quickly. The 7 Extreme Desolation Giant rose and was about to step into the battlefield again. Duke Long suddenly appeared above the giant. Still want to stand up? Duke Long gave a ferocious smile while slamming his right dragon claw down. Boom! The dragon claw was tiny like an ant compared to the giant's 7 Extreme Desolation, but it inflicted an enormous injury on the giant. As air currents surged, the 7 Extreme Desolation Giant's head was smashed into paste. The headless giant was forced down to the ground, creating a human-shaped crater. Dust and stones were sent flying as the surroundings shook. Ah! Duke Long slowly retracted his claw while hovering in the air, letting out a satisfied grunt. Renewed strength spread throughout Duke Long's body again, his muscles expanded once again and bones grew rapidly. His dragon scales became bigger and tougher, his crown-like dragon horns turned increasingly ferocious as spikes extended everywhere. Duke Long's whole body, that had already surpassed normal people's height, expanded once again. A thatched hut ceiling would probably only reach his waist. His long purple hair had been soft and elegant, but now each strand was thick and strong and reached until his feet. Purple gold lightning flickered in between his hair. His dragon tail grew longer, it had been less than 10 feet before but now it was tens of feet long. Duke Long, go and die. A Northern Plains rank 8 suddenly appeared behind Duke Long. He was determined to succeed as he smashed a killer move which he had prepared for a long time at Duke Long's back. Snap! In just an instant, Duke Long's dragon tail whipped and sent this rank 8 Gu immortal flying. Guh! The Northern Plains Gu immortal coughed out mouthfuls of blood, his spine was instantly broken and his organs were displaced. The most fatal thing was the backlash from his own immortal killer move which sent him to the verge of death. At the next moment, 3 Northern Plains Gu immortals made their move at the same time, 3 killer moves struck Duke Long in succession. We hit him. But the joy on these 3 Northern Plains Gu immortals' faces froze immediately. As dust dissipated, Duke Long could be seen standing upright. Purple gold dragon scales that flickered with metallic luster covered his whole body. There was not even a scar. What? We had already calculated it, our 3 killer moves coordinated with each other and increased each other's power. What kind of defense is this? The 3 Northern Plains Gu immortals were shaken before they felt uneasy and retreated immediately. Are you scratching my back? Duke Long slowly turned around, his expressionless dragon eyes stared at the 3 retreating Gu immortals. The 3 Gu immortals immediately felt alerts ringing in their mind, an intense sense of danger suffocated them as if a mountain was pressing on them. Duke Long, don't try to leave, we are your opponent. The 7 Extreme Desolation giant had obtained a brief respite and stood up once again. Their smashed head had already mostly recovered. Humph, 7 Big Dipper immortals, you are no longer able to obstruct me. Duke Long sneered as he gave an indifferent glance to 7 Extreme Desolation before moving his gaze to Calamity Luck Altar. Red Lotus Demon Venerable's Call of the Ancient killer move was reliant on Calamity Luck Altar. As long as Calamity Luck Altar was bombarded and dealt a certain amount of damage, Call of the Ancient would be destroyed. Without the interference of these past Northern Plains experts, Heavenly Court members would immediately have the advantage in numbers and longevity. Heaven would no longer have strength to retaliate. Inside Calamity Luck Altar, Bing Sai Chuan's forehead was filled with sweat. Damn it, Fate Gu has recovered a little again, the Northern Plains experts from Call of the Ancient are greatly weakened. On the contrary, Heavenly Court members are being strengthened by the Human Path Killer move. Most importantly, Duke Long cannot be stopped, his battle strength has already greatly surpassed the realm of rank 8, even the Human Path Killer move has no amplification effect on him. While Bing Sai Chuan was thinking, Duke Long had once again smashed down on 7 Extreme Desolation. After getting rid of the hindrance, Duke Long directly charged towards Calamity Luck Altar. Huff! Bing Sai Chuan breathed out heavily as a resolute light shone in his eyes. This is our final attempt. Boom! Calamity Luck Altar suddenly erupted with an extremely intense light that resembled the sun. All the Gu immortals had no choice but to shut their eyes. Even Duke Long had to squint his eyes. He was puzzled. Bing Sai Chuan is activating Calamity Luck Altar's ability so intensely, is he not afraid of affecting Call of the Ancient? Call of the Ancient was only attached to Calamity Luck Altar, this time Path Killer move and Calamity Luck Altar conflicted with each other. Calamity Luck Altar did not use its powerful abilities so that it could sustain Call of the Ancient. So it was surprising to see Bing Sai Chuan suddenly activating its ability. The intense light of Luck Path temporarily obstructed everyone. Within the light, Calamity Luck Altar was like a beast let out of its cage as it ferociously smashed towards the refinement path formation. Quick, stop him! Fairy Ziwei cried out. Duke Long discovered to his surprise that Call of the Ancient was still working. The River of Time phantom image was already imprinted in the battlefield. Although it was dissipating, its speed of dissipation was extremely slow and could clearly last for a long period of time. Red Lotus. Immediately, Duke Long was surprised and furious. He realized he had fallen into Red Lotus Demon Venerable's scheme. His understanding of Call of the Ancient came from the other half of its set, the killer move support of the future. Back then, in the battle with Red Lotus Demon Venerable, he had attacked Red Lotus many times and disrupted support of the future. Master, you are very perceptive, you actually saw through this move's flaw. In his memories, Red Lotus Demon Venerable was bleeding but still had a smile on his face and radiance in his eyes. This defiant disciple, he said it intentionally. There is also this Bing Sai Chuan, he is truly crafty, he could move freely but purposely restrained himself. Duke Long was furious, this had happened too suddenly and caught him off guard. Calamity Luck Altar had already prepared the move for a long time, so it erupted with shocking might. The Heavenly Court members were strengthened by heroes among people and were suppressing Northern Plains immortals. Unknowingly, the tight defense line had become dispersed. Looking at Calamity Luck Altar's charge, several Heavenly Court members activated immortal killer moves without dodging. But under the intense light of Luck Path, most of their killer moves failed miserably and they suffered from powerful backlash. Only a few killer moves activated successfully and struck Calamity Luck Altar, but were not even able to move Calamity Luck Altar. Calamity Luck Altar kept on charging straight, heavily injuring several Heavenly Court Gu immortals in its path. It collided with the refinement path formation like a crashing meteor. Boom! The refinement path formation suffered serious damage and was mostly shattered. Heaven Overseeing Tower's peak was finally exposed to plain sight. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1733, Giant Sun's Greatness. Chapter 1733, Giant Sun's Greatness. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Plop. Yuan Xiongdu, who had been in charge of the restoration work, blacked out and fell to the ground. He had already been injured before, and with the backlash from the damage to the refinement path formation, he immediately fainted. Without him, although success Dao marks were still arriving in small portions, Fate Gu's recovery was immediately paused. Even Song Yen was affected. This rank 8 Gu immortal had collaborated with Che Wei to defend against Northern Plains Bull Demon and 5 Elements Grandmaster. Song Yen had already been prepared when Bull Demon and 5 Elements Grandmaster attacked the Refinement Path Gu formation. He bore the damage done to the Refinement Path formation with his own body. Now with Calamity Luck Altar destroying most of the Refinement Path formation, Song Yen also had to endure a large portion of the damage. Song Yen was dizzy, his ears kept on buzzing and his 7 orifices were bleeding, he had almost collapsed to the ground. Fortunately, Che Wei provided timely assistance and protected him. "How is your condition?" Che Wei defended against the joint attacks of Bull Demon and 5 Elements Grandmaster while asking. "I'm still not dead." Song Yen coughed out a mouthful of blood. "Go reinforce them quickly." "Who can reconstruct the refinement path formation?" Yuan Xiongdu had been in charge of restoring Fate Gu. Others won't be able to continue the work within a short period, it is better to wake him first. The light of Luck Path started dissipating, Heavenly Court's immortals charged towards it like they had gone crazy. "We failed to destroy it completely." Inside Calamity Luck Altar, Bing Sai Chuan's gaze shined coldly. His gaze turned and he immediately gave a firm order, "Bull Demon, 5 Elements Grandmaster, return immediately." The light of Luck Path could not last for long and was dissipating quickly. The Heavenly Court Immortals were all charging over. It would definitely be dangerous for Bull Demon and Five Elements Grandmaster if they were to remain outside. Previously, the Heavenly Court Gu Immortals had been afraid of the Refinement Path Gu formation not being able to support many Gu Immortals and so had not reinforced Song Yan and Che Wei. Bull Demon and Five Elements Grandmaster understood the situation and quickly retreated to Calamity Luck Altar. Che Wei was helpless and could only watch. Bull Demon entered Calamity Luck Altar with a worried expression. Flower Lady is still trapped in Heaven Overseeing Tower, the situation there is unknown. Bing Sai Chuan nodded, his expression was resolute. We shall completely destroy this Refinement Path formation and then rescue. Boom! Bing Sai Chuan had yet to finish speaking when Calamity Luck Altar shook intensely. The three inside the altar could not stand stably and shook along with the altar. A gigantic figure had ruthlessly stepped on Calamity Luck Altar. Because of this action, most of Calamity Luck Altar sank and got buried in the ground. It was Duke Long. With me here, this is as far as you will go. Duke Long's expression was solemn, his gaze was cold. The anger from earlier had completely turned into ruthlessness, his killing intent pervaded the air and suffocated others. Boom boom boom. Duke Long started punching Calamity Luck Altar. A torrent of fists rained down on Calamity Luck Altar like a storm. Calamity Luck Altar shook endlessly, sinking down into the ground inch by inch. Cracks quickly appeared on Calamity Luck Altar's surface and started expanding before forming holes. Large amount of Gu worms died. Bing Sai Chuan immediately distributed the work. He started preparing a killer move to retaliate. Bull Demon was put in charge of repairing Calamity Luck Altar, and Five Elements Grandmaster, who specialized in Formation Path, was given the work of deducing the half-destroyed Refinement Path formation. The speed of destruction is too fast, I have no time to repair Calamity Luck Altar at all. Several breaths later, Bull Demon shouted. Five Elements Grandmaster's head was soaked with sweat as he tried to deduce the formation with all his strength. Bing Sai Chuan said through clenched teeth, persevere. Duke Long was extremely powerful. The rank 8 Calamity Luck Altar, an immortal Gu house created by Giant Sun Immortal Venerable personally, was already unable to endure Duke Long's endless punches. Rise! Bing Sai Chuan shouted. Calamity Luck Altar once again erupted with piercing light as it flew towards the sky. Duke Long, who had been punching continuously, felt a powerful force coming from Calamity Luck Altar. Go down! Duke Long shouted. He raised his fists above his head and smashed down like a giant hammer. Immortal Killer Move, World-Shaking Dragon Hammer. With a loud bang, Calamity Luck Altar, which had just ascended, was smashed down like a ball. A huge amount of Gu worms died, their carcasses flying everywhere. A large hole was smashed open on the surface of Calamity Luck Altar from which one could see Bing Sai Chuan. Bing Sai Chuan could not hide his shock. Duke Long's strength had already surpassed his wildest imagination. Even Heavenly Court's members were dumbfounded. Everyone, charge! At this moment, the Northern Plains Gu Immortals who were created by Call of the Ancient rushed to reinforce. The Heavenly Court Gu Immortals did not dodge or evade, meeting the Northern Plains Gu Immortals head-on. Chaotic battle erupted once again. And in the rear of this chaotic battle, Duke Long was continuously bombarding Calamity Luck Altar. Behind Duke Long was the Refinement Path formation that was being repaired hurriedly. 7 Extreme Desolation fought and killed, finally paving a path of blood as it arrived before Duke Long. Calamity Luck Altar cannot defend against Duke Long on its own. Bing Sai Chuan had to acknowledge this fact. After obtaining the reinforcement of 7 Extreme Desolation, Bing Sai Chuan finally had a chance to catch a breather. With some difficulty, he manipulated Calamity Luck Altar and fought Duke Long together with 7 Extreme Desolation. Immortal Killer Move, Spiraling Dragon Fang. Duke Long opened his mouth as his teeth flew out. 100 sharp teeth expanded along with the wind, becoming a group of snow-white dragon fang blades that slashed at Calamity Luck Altar. Chink chink chink. The dragon fang blades struck Calamity Luck Altar and produced intense sounds like the collision of hundreds of weapons. Calamity Luck Altar was like a hut in the storm, unable to even retaliate. Duke Long sneered. In just a short moment, teeth grew again in his mouth. They flew out once again, turning into snow-white blades that shrouded Calamity Luck Altar in 7 Extreme Desolation. Soon, 7 Extreme Desolation became heavily damaged while Calamity Luck Altar was filled with holes. Immortal Killer Move, Dragon Claw Strike. Immortal Killer Move, Chaotic Dragon Fist. Fist shadows flew in all directions and claw marks appeared everywhere. 7 Extreme Desolation's head was destroyed again and again, while Calamity Luck Altar was in ruins and Bull Demon was simply unable to repair it. Immortal Killer Move, 9 Dragons Protection. 9 huge purple-gold dragon shadows coiled around Duke Long. It was not that 7 Extreme Desolation and Calamity Luck Altar did not retaliate, but their attacks were all blocked by 9 Dragons Protection. The situation was obvious, Duke Long had an extremely huge dominance. As time continued to pass, Longevity Heaven's side would definitely fail. You have the guts to invade my heavenly court, you are going to pay for it with your lives. Duke Long snorted. What are you still resisting for? You have no hope left. Duke Long stepped and activated a killer move, pushing down the whole Calamity Luck Altar into the ground. He then punched with both hands and sent 7 Extreme Desolation flying far away. I already told you, this is as far as you can possibly go. You will all fail, Heavenly Court will remain invincible for all eternity. Duke Long's voice reverberated throughout the whole battlefield, stirring everyone's hearts. What methods do you still have? Use them all, I will personally send you into the abyss of despair. He spoke slowly and steadily, his expressionless dragon eyes and cruel voice gave chills to others. Bing Sai Chuan was in a miserable state, Calamity Luck Altar could no longer provide comprehensive defense, he was filled with injuries. This was the result of spiraling dragon fangs. The situation was getting increasingly dangerous, but the light in his eyes had never been extinguished. He still held hope. In the depths of his mind, there was a memory which he would never forget. This is 88 Truyang Building. So amazing. It is truly worthy of being Lord's creation. Bing Sai Chuan stood beside Giant Sun Immortal Venerable and said with reverence. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable smiled, he had a satisfied expression, with this Immortal Gu house, all my children will become strong. Lord, you are truly considerate. Bing Sai Chuan praised. However, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable changed his tone, I feel more anticipation towards the time it collapses. What? I created this building so that it would collapse one day. Bing Sai Chuan, you are a time path Gu Immortal, go hibernate. When 88 Truyang Building collapses in the future, it will be a sign that the opportunity to attack Heavenly Court has arrived. Inside Calamity Luck Altar. Even if my injuries are fatal, even if the situation is desperate, even if we have used all our trump cards, I won't give up. Because this plan is Ancestor Giant Sun's arrangement. Oh Heavenly Court, the victor will be us. Bing Sai Chuan shouted. Blind confidence. Duke Long gave a disdainful scoff, you will only extend your suffering if you continue persevering. Bing Sai Chuan snorted, you will never understand that man's greatness. Not far away. Whoosh! Dog-tail life-extending ferret Mao Li Chiu suddenly turned into smoke and disappeared from the scene. We finally got rid of the killer move Perfect Pair. It is indeed worthy of being Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable's creation. Fortunately, this is Heavenly Court. With 4 Rule Path Gu Immortals and with detailed information on Perfect Pair in our records, we could decipher it. If this were a normal situation, it would have been troublesome. The dog-tail life-extending ferret had been engaging in a fierce battle against 2 legendary immemorial desolate beasts of Heavenly Court, Huan Dan and Shabi 95. With Perfect Pair, the dog-tail life-extending ferret and its clone were able to suppress them. But with Heavenly Court's members waking up, many people began to target Perfect Pair and were finally able to break it. Try to act wild again. Little dog, you pounced on me so many times that my feathers are all plucked out. Ruan Dan and Shabi 95 surrounded Mao Li Chiu, along with several Heavenly Court Gu immortals. Mao Li Chiu might have outstanding strength, but falling into this situation, it was not able to fight against many and was soon filled with injuries with blood gushing out rapidly. But Ruan Dan and Shabi 95 were also not in a good state. Mao Li Chiu's counterattack was specially targeted at these two. Although Mao Li Chiu's injuries kept on increasing and was becoming increasingly weak while Heavenly Court's dominance was increasing, Ruan Dan and Shabi 95 were still shaken and bewildered. This lunatic is not afraid of death. Even if it dies, it will probably bite a piece of my flesh off during its last attack. Heavenly Court's two legendary immemorial beasts could not help but feel apprehensive. One of them shouted, "Mao Li Chiu, why are you wasting your life for Giant Sun Immortal Venerable? He raised you because of your innate ability and wanted to kill you to prolong his life." Mao Li Chiu was standing in a pool of blood. Its injuries were horrifying and many were so deep that its bones could be seen. Its glossy fur was now stuck together because of the blood. Its eyes had blacked out, its body was shaking as if it would collapse at the next moment. It knew about its body condition, it would probably die here. And so what? Mao Li Chiu gave a soundless laughter as it opened its mouth. A memory surfaced in its mind. Under the setting sun, on a mountain, Mao Li Chiu curled up like a puppy beside Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's feet. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable stroked its head, but it was shivering. It had already heard of Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's plan. Now that Giant Sun Immortal Venerable was near the end of his lifespan and had summoned him, he probably wanted to kill it to extend his life. But Mao Li Chiu did not dare to resist. It was extremely clear, even if it possessed peak rank 8 battle strength, it was not Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's match. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable would not even need to attack for it to die. "Don't be afraid, Mao Li Chiu. I won't kill you to prolong my life." Giant Sun Immortal Venerable chuckled. Mao Li Chiu's body stiffened. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable gazed at the evening sky that was dazzling like fire. "I still remember the first day I took you in, he, how time flies, you have already grown to this extent. Speaking from the bottom of my heart, you are my child too. How different are you from my sons and daughters? As a parent, how can I harm my own children?" Mao Li Chiu knew Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's temperament. He would not lie because there was no need to do so. Mao Li Chiu asked in a daze, "But master, you can extend your lifespan by killing me." "Extend my lifespan?" Giant Sun Immortal Venerable laughed, "I will only be dragging on the inevitable. People die in the end, isn't that so?" He shook his head. What meaning is there to continue living under fate? Death is not that hard to accept. Furthermore, children are destined to leave their parents and only then can they truly grow up. "Master, promise me, you must continue to live well. Do what you like, I won't give you any orders, be yourself and live happily." "Master." The memory faded away as Mao Li Chiu looked at the surrounding enemies. It raised its head and laughed wildly, its aura suddenly surging. "Master, even if I die, I will repay the gratitude of raising me." "It is already dying." "Right, it is only overexerting itself. But be careful of its final counterattack." The Heavenly Court Immortals had cold expressions as they encircled it. Black Heaven. Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace. Giant Sun Immortal Zombie was sitting cross-legged without moving like a statue. He looked towards the south. The scenes of the battle in Heavenly Court were reflected in his eyes. His face showed no sadness or joy as he slowly raised his palm. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1734, Chen Yi removes formation. Chapter 1734, Chen Yi removes formation. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Infallible Blessed Land Battlefield. 9 consecutive unceasing formation. Their formation. Our side is suffering from a strong backlash. First group, come back and recuperate. Second group, take over the first group. Third group, be on standby. Chen Yi and Bai Tsang Shui controlled the formation while orderly commanding the central continent Gu immortals. Who could have thought they would have such a strange move? Feng Jiugu frowned slightly as he gazed at the 5 regional formation within the formation. This is troublesome. If we don't handle it well, the 9 consecutive unceasing formation might. Feng Jiugu had a bad feeling. The 5 regional formation constantly spread 5-colored smoke to the surroundings under Qi Chu Yu's control. The smoke constantly spread out while becoming increasingly transparent as it invaded the 9 consecutive unceasing formation. Good, this is the way. The others shall target the formation, make the central continent Gu immortals use it frequently. The more they use it, the stronger the backlash they will suffer. The stronger this 9 consecutive unceasing formation is, the greater the injury these Gu immortals will have to suffer. This is truly wonderful. The morale of the Southern Alliance and Northern Plains immortals soared. They changed their battle tactic. They had already seen through this formation and could clearly target the flaw to destroy the formation, but now, they were not in a hurry to do so. The 5 regional smoke constantly spread and they used this to deal with the central continent Gu immortals who were inside the formation. In a way, 9 consecutive unceasing formation had instead become the strong weapon for Fang Yuan's group to attack Central Continent and Heavenly Court's experts. How should we deal with this? Do we send people to destroy their formation? Bai Tsang Shui looked at Chen Yi. The leader of this group was Chen Yi. Chen Yi looked unsightly as he said, this formation should have originated from the 5 regional true inheritance. It is the method of southern borders Tao Zhu. Heavenly Court had interfered in the 5 regional mountain range battle. Jun Shenguang was captured alive by Fang Yuan in this battle. Thus, Heavenly Court knew detailed information about Tao Zhu's true inheritance and the 5 regional mountain range battle. Tao Zhu could create the 5 regional mountain range, so this 5-colored smoke that is pervading the formation is clearly imitating the 5 regional walls and is making our side suffer from backlash. Chen Yi's tone was quite bitter. The 9 consecutive unceasing formation is a multi-layered formation. We can easily get rid of or add a subformation and hence sustain it indefinitely. Back then, Limitless Demon Venerable had to break 100 formations to get out of this formation. But Tao Zhu's method gets around the 9 consecutive unceasing formation and targets our Gu immortals instead. Not only are they avoiding the formation, but the stronger our formation is, the stronger the backlash to the Gu immortals in charge of the formation. If we activate the formation to deal with the enemy's formation, we will fall into the enemy's trap. We cannot do that. But if we temporarily stop the formation and send our people out of the formation, we will be giving up our advantage and fighting with our weakness. Moreover, the enemies include ruthless people like Wu Yong and Fang Yuan. The Gu immortals we send out will be in huge danger. Chen Yi had been struck by Wu Yong's farewell friend Wind and was saved by Feng Jiugu. He still felt lingering fear. More importantly, they only had 3 rank 8s, Chen Yi, Bai Tsang Shui, and Feng Jiugu. Moreover, they all had some level of injuries and were not suited to be sent out. Chen Yi sighed deeply as he analyzed until here. Who could have thought the 9 consecutive unceasing formation would be countered by the enemy? Tao Zhu was only an ordinary rank 8 Gu immortal who could not even be mentioned alongside Wu Yong and Fang Yuan, while the 9 consecutive unceasing formation was created by the famous and mighty star constellation Immortal Venerable. The 5 regional true inheritance was able to counter 9 consecutive unceasing formation. This was Tao Zhu's glory. While alive, Tao Zhu was not prominent among rank 8 Gu immortals or even remotely famous. He only created the 5 regional mountain range. No one had expected his research to truly succeed. After this battle, Tao Zhu's name would spread throughout the world despite him having been dead for a long time already. Each generation brings forth new geniuses and each will rule their domain for years to come. Like how Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable's perfect pair killer move was countered in the battle in Heavenly Court, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's 9-9 consecutive unceasing formation was also countered by geniuses of the future generations. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable had died too long ago while the eras continued to progress. Their methods were powerful, but they could not escape from the trials of time as it flows continuously. Remove that subformation. Chen Yi ordered resolutely. The Gu immortals beside him were shocked. Chen Yi actually sent the command to remove the formation. Did he get muddle-headed? But soon after, Feng Jiu Gu was the first to react, his eyes shining brightly as he praised, "Great idea. They actually removed the formation, ha ha ha." Inside 5 regional formation, some Northern Plains Gu immortals started laughing heartily at this sight. Wu Yong and Fang Yuan, however, had slightly sunken expressions. This is not good, Chen Yi is truly crafty. If we are inside their formation, the 5-colored smoke can invade faster and deeper. Now that they have removed the subformation, its efficiency will decrease greatly. Indeed. Over at Heavenly Court's battlefield, Longevity Heaven is already unable to hold on and Heavenly Court is firmly occupying the upper hand. Chen Yi probably considered this, so he adopted the delaying tactic. Fang Yuan's group would have been happy to see Chen Yi's side activating the 9-9 consecutive unceasing formation or sending people to attack their formation. But now, Chen Yi took the initiative to remove the subformation, choosing to defend passively. The 5-colored smoke's invasion slowed down greatly. Central Continent Immortals only maintained the formation and did not activate it, so they suffered from weaker backlash. On the contrary, Chen Yi was still behind the formation, continuing to arrange immortal formations. Fang Yuan's group needed even more time to destroy this 9-9 consecutive unceasing formation as a result. The most crucial thing was that Fang Yuan's group had to fight for every second, they could not delay for even one moment. Once Heavenly Court eliminates Longevity Heaven's forces, they would rush here to deal with Fang Yuan's group. Chen Yi was very calm with his deep experience. He purposely backed down. It was only a small step back in the overall picture, but it instead became an even more terrifying offensive move. He directly forced Fang Yuan's group towards the edge of the cliff. Sigh, if I had known this, I would have made Formation Spirit and Formation Flag Immortal Gu take part in the 5 regional formation. With that, 5 regional formation could be mobile and would not have to be fixed in one place. Fang Yuan mentally sighed. This was not his mistake, and it was not that he was unwilling to contribute. If Formation Spirit and Formation Flag Immortal Gu were to be joined with the 5 regional formation, the amount of things to deduce would increase sharply and it would consume a lot of Fang Yuan's time. In fact, even if the 5 regional formation could be moved, Fang Yuan's group would not be able to resolve the current crisis. Chen Yi took the initiative to dispel the subformation and retreated to a defensive position. The 5 regional formation inside the subformation was now exposed. There was already a chaotic battle going on outside the 9-9 consecutive unceasing formation. For rank 8 Gu immortals, Qin Yi, Li Huang, Prince Feng Xian, and Ba Shiba were engaged in a ferocious fight. Clear Jade Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building, Frost Dragon Manor, Wind Sweeping Building, and other immortal Gu houses were rampaging in the battlefield, occasionally colliding against each other or erupting with immortal killer moves. Dazzling lights and explosions resounded everywhere. Not good, unlimited wind is getting out of my control. Wu Yong's expression changed. Previously, he had been inside the formation and had not clearly sensed it. Now that Chen Yi had removed the formation, Wu Yong clearly felt something wrong. Without any delay, Wu Yong flew out of the 5 regional formation and charged at Wind Sweeping Building. Yao Huang, Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu and others also made their moves. With their support, Li Huang, Qin Yi and others felt huge pressure. They had to retreat again and again, and soon, they along with Central Continent's immortal Gu houses were getting suppressed. Fang Yuan quietly moved out before suddenly using Great Thief Ghost Hand. Central Continent's immortal Gu houses immediately met with disaster as Fang Yuan stole a large amount of Gu worms. Fang Yuan grabbed repeatedly and soon obtained 3 immortal Gu. Adding on his gains from the battle in Emperor City, he had already stolen over 10 immortal Gu from Central Continent's immortal Gu houses. As for these immortal Gu, Fang Yuan recognized some of them while there were some which he did not recognize. His time path clone was staying inside the light of wisdom, continuously deducing the ways in which these Gu worms could be used. Seeing that the situation was going awry, Li Huang got away from Prince Feng Xian and hurried to fight Fang Yuan. The previous scene in Emperor City played out once again. Fang Yuan was entangled by Li Huang and was unable to easily target immortal Gu houses. Humph, this Prince Feng Xian is acting so well, intentionally letting go of Li Huang without commotion. Fang Yuan mentally snorted. Prince Feng Xian was a problem. What made Fang Yuan feel even more problematic was Heavenly Court's rank 9 human path killer move, Heroes Among People. With the amplification from Heroes Among People, Li Huang, Xianxia, as well as Central Continent's immortal Gu houses had their strength increased by several times. Thus they were able to block the joint offense of Southern Border and Northern Plains. We don't have time to continue such a chaotic battle. Let's retreat to the formation. Fang Yuan called out. Wu Yong and the rest slowly moved back and collected their immortal Gu houses before retreating to the 5 regional formation. The 5 regional formation was activated completely, large amounts of 5-colored smoke quickly spread and shrouded the whole battlefield. Inside the 5-colored smoke, Central Continent's Gu immortals felt a powerful suppression. Like the awkward state of Xianxia before, these people who had been strengthened by Heroes Among People had their killer moves amplified as well, which caused the backlash to increase steeply. I did not expect Tao Zhu's method to be so profound. Inside the formation, Ba Shi Ba was moved inside. Wu Yong was silent. This situation was within his expectations. Because he had already discovered this, he did not stint on exposing the contents of the true inheritance and seeking to collaborate with Qi Chuyu. Qi Chuyu also knew this was a good thing but did not have a method to use it before. Now that the formation was modified and successfully arranged, it immediately showed its effects. It is a pity this 5-colored smoke does not distinguish between enemies and allies. Central Continent is suppressed, but we can also suffer from backlash. Only Fang Yuan can move freely. Yao Huang said encouragingly. Many people looked at Fang Yuan, revealing envious expressions. Such a pity. Fang Yuan inwardly sighed. If he could obtain Tao Zhu's true inheritance, relying on the light of wisdom as well as his powerful formation path and wisdom path attainment levels, his battle strength would rise sharply. For example, he had no way to deal with Heroes Among People, but if he had the 5-colored smoke, Li Huang's group would suffer from an even greater suppression. Who was to say if Fang Yuan might be able to suppress the battle in Emperor City single-handedly? Back then, when he had escaped from the 5 regional mountain range and could not take 5 regional true inheritance, he had felt it was a huge loss. Looking at it now, his premonition back then was not wrong. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1735, Giant Sun vs. Star Constellation. Chapter 1735, Giant Sun vs. Star Constellation. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Infallible Blessed Land Battlefield. The enemies entered their formation. Looks like they want to make full use of the 5-colored smoke. Li Huang and the others are in trouble. Xianxia had been paying close attention to the battle situation. Should we go reinforce them? We can work together with them, maybe we can destroy the enemy's formation. As long as their formation is destroyed and 1 or 2 of the core immortal Gu are dead, they might have no way left to make a comeback. Bai Tsang Shui suggested. Xianxia considered before shaking his head. No need to take a risk, the current situation is very favorable to us. Bring them into the 9-9 consecutive unceasing formation. Xianxia was not willing to attack and even wanted to pull back Li Huang and others. He was determined to continue his plan of stalling for time. Fang Yuan flew out of the formation and began to fight Li Huang's group. Inside five-colored smoke, Li Huang's group was greatly restricted when fighting with Fang Yuan. After suffering many losses, Li Huang gave the order to retreat and entered the 9-9 consecutive unceasing formation. In an instant, both sides had entered their respective formations. The noisy battlefield was only left with the sounds of unlimited wind. Wu Yong and Fang Yuan remained outside the formation. The former carefully controlled unlimited wind to evade five-colored smoke and target Heavenly Court's formation. The latter was hiding in the five-colored smoke, slowly approaching Heavenly Court's formation as the five-colored smoke spread out further. Let's continue to hold on. As long as the battle in Heavenly Court ends, we will win. Inside 9-9 consecutive unceasing formation, Chen Yi roused the morale of everyone. But he had just finished speaking when they heard a loud explosion. The immortals quickly looked and saw surging five-colored smoke. The five-regional formation on Fang Yuan's side suddenly exploded. A figure flew out like an arrow from within the dense five-colored smoke. Prince Feng Xian, what did you do? Kill him, he is definitely Heavenly Court's spy. Lord Qi Chuyu, are you okay? Quick, someone save Lord Qi. A change happened suddenly. Southern border and northern plains Gu immortals were in chaos. Prince Feng Xian, don't even dream about escaping. Fang Yuan and Wu Yong who were outside turned around and stopped Prince Feng Xian. Baicang Shui was exulted, so it was Prince Feng Xian who destroyed the enemy formation from inside. Great job. Some Gu immortals who were unaware of the inside information were dumbstruck at this sight. Quick, Prince Feng Xian is our Spirit Affinity House's member. Go save him. A Spirit Affinity House's Supreme Elder urged. Even without his words, Chen Yi had already sent the command. Li Huang, Qin Yi, and Baicang Shui flew out of the formation to bring back Prince Feng Xian. Fang Yuan and Wu Yong were obstructed by these three. Prince Feng Xian was not weak and with help from the reinforcements, he entered the 9-9 consecutive unceasing formation successfully. Heavenly Court's immortals, however, did not know, this Prince Feng Xian who was brought into their formation was a fake. I finally got in. Fang Yuan sneered inwardly with surging killing intent. Immortal killer move, familiar face. This killer move was given a major modification by Fang Yuan, and adding on the transformation path Dao marks he obtained from annexing Beast Calamity Grotto Heaven, its might had increased by several times. Even if Heavenly Court had made preparations, they could not discover Fang Yuan's true identity. At this moment, the true Prince Feng Xian was actually still inside the five-regional formation. The five-regional formation had been modified by Fang Yuan and he had naturally put in another formation inside. This inner formation was a cage to trap Prince Feng Xian and its formation core was being guarded by several rank 8 Gu immortals. As for the Fang Yuan inside the five-colored smoke, it was Yi Hao Fang's disguise. Southern Border's rank 8 Gu immortal Yi Hao Fang was a transformation path Gu immortal. Although he did not have a method like familiar face, he was inside the five-colored smoke which protected him from the investigative killer moves of other rank 8 Gu immortals. As for the five-regional formation, it had truly been detonated. Countless mortal Gu died and the immortal Gu used in the formation also suffered varying severity of damage. Only by doing this could they deceive Chen Yi's side. Chen Yi was still in the dark because of another reason as well. Fairy Ziwei had sent a notification to them. Chen Yi's group knew Prince Feng Xian's true identity which made them place attention on him constantly during the battle. Once there was any movement over on Prince Feng Xian's end and he backstabs the enemy, they were to actively cooperate and achieve greater success in the battle. Right now, Prince Feng Xian had directly destroyed the enemy's formation. This was a huge battle merit. Chen Yi's group had already been mentally prepared so they immediately accepted Fang Yuan. Since the secret that I was reborn has been exposed, Heavenly Court is definitely wary of Prince Feng Xian's identity being exposed as well. Currently, this war pertains to Fate Gu. At the crucial moment, Heavenly Court will definitely use Prince Feng Xian to maintain the situation. This is something I can exploit. Fang Yuan sneered inwardly. He was disguised as Prince Feng Xian with a heavily injured look. Under the expectant gazes of Heavenly Court immortals, he entered the core of 99 consecutive unceasing formation confidently. A Spirit Affinity House Supreme Elder welcomed him first. She smiled, "Welcome home." Fang Yuan was ready and prepared to make a move. "I am not the real Prince Feng Xian, I will be exposed when I converse with them. And I don't have Wu Yong's concealing methods, my killer move's aura will definitely leak when I prepare it. So the perfect time to make a move is at this moment when I have just entered the formation. Because I was chased, the killer move aura on my body has yet to dissipate." Fang Yuan was about to make a fatal move when a change occurred. Everyone in the whole battlefield had a change in their expression. What is that? Rank 9 killer move. It seems to have come from Northern Plains. Luck Path's aura. Its direction seems like Heavenly Court. Both enemies and allies forgot about fighting as they all looked up at the sky. An enormous beam of light flew through the sky and shot towards Heavenly Court's direction at an extreme speed. This beam of light was so gigantic, like a large river that spanned across heaven and earth. Wherever it went, it pushed aside all the air. The light pillar's movement was accompanied by a deafening, majestic sound. Such a grand and powerful killer move shocked everyone and sent them into a daze. Chen Yi, Wu Yong, and even Fang Yuan felt how small and insignificant they were at this moment. Unstoppable. Invincible. The light pillar started from black heaven above Northern Plains, piercing through the regional wall and directly bombarding Heavenly Court. Heavenly Court shook intensely, the world seemed to tremble as countless immortal Gu houses cracked and broke. This is... Duke Long looked up fiercely. The previous moment, he had been in high spirits and with his awe-inspiring might, he had beaten 7 extreme desolation and calamity luck altar to the point where they did not even know their bearings. But when the light pillar charged towards him, he paled in horror. In an instant, he had become fish on the chopping board. He could not move, he was locked firmly by the beam like an insect trapped in amber. He could only watch quietly as the pillar of light crashed, even though his current strength could make all other rank 8 Gu immortals feel helpless and lament. Rank 9 killer move. This is Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's method. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable left behind a backup method after all. No, he is not targeting me, he is going after Fate Gu. Duke Long suddenly realized as his face turned malevolent. He struggled with all his strength, trying to activate his immortal killer moves desperately. But what he feared still happened, his killer moves did not even activate once. The continuous failure in activating killer moves inflicted heavy backlash on him, his mouth and eyes were both bleeding. The Heavenly Court immortals were confused and shocked. Some who overestimated their own strength tried to obstruct the beam but were all incinerated into ashes. No rank 8 Gu immortal could block the advancement of the light pillar. Lord Ancestor Giant Sun. Master. At this moment, Bing Sai Chuan and Mao Li Qiu's eyes shined brightly. But right as the beam of light was about to strike the refinement path formation, suddenly, everyone heard a deep sigh. Following that, the image of 2 venerables playing chess appeared once again in Imperfection Regret Pavilion. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, who was playing chess with Limitless Demon Venerable, grabbed a chess piece and tossed it out. Instantly, countless starlight specks flickered and gathered. They were so dazzling that they did not lose to the huge yellow beam. Starlight specks formed a giant web that obstructed the beam's advancement. The beam of light became slower and thinner. The starlight specks that were surrounding it were absorbing and transferring the strength away. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. This is Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's method. The Heavenly Court Gu immortals were exalted. They looked at Imperfection Regret Pavilion with reverence and excited emotions. Duke Long gasped for breath. The beam of light had approached him closely, almost touching his face. But in the end, the beam was completely stopped and trapped by the starlight web. Damn it, we were so close. Bing Sai Chuan was very upset. Duke Long was Heavenly Court's strongest battle strength. he was also their leader and banner. If he died, Heavenly Court's morale would definitely fall greatly, while Longevity Heaven, which still had Calamity Luck Altar and 7 Extreme Desolation, would have hope left. Star Constellation, this bitch. Mao Li Chiu clenched its teeth fiercely. The beam of light suddenly changed abruptly, it started to rotate and got faster and faster, forming circles of whirling currents on its surface. Inside Imperfection Regret Pavilion, a surprised look appeared on Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's face. With a loud sound, the beam exploded, splitting into hundreds of enormous yellow chi currents that plunged into Bing Sai Chuan, Mao Li Chiu, and the other Northern Plains experts. Mao Li Chiu was dumbfounded. It had already been prepared for death, but after this yellow chi current moved through its limbs and bones, all its injuries were healed and immortal essence was condensing within its immortal aperture out of nowhere. A golden white halo appeared on Longevity Heaven's members, giving them a huge amplification. This amplification was several times stronger than heroes among people. After the light pillar got obstructed by the starlight web, it transformed into another effect and helped Longevity Heaven's members instead. Duke Long, let's fight again. Bing Sai Chuan shouted, having recovered to his peak condition. Calamity Luck Altar was also shrouded in a layer of radiance, and under Bing Sai Chuan's control, it flew out. Duke Long did not dodge but faced Calamity Luck Altar head-on. Calamity Luck Altar's momentum was blocked, but Duke Long was sent flying like a cannonball. He smashed through 5 to 6 thick walls before being stopped by the Chi wall. Guh. Duke Long's face turned pale as he spat out large mouthfuls of blood. His chest had caved in and almost all his ribs were broken. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1736, Northern Plains Upper Hand. Chapter 1736, Northern Plains Upper Hand. Heavenly Court Battlefield. Kill. Deafening battle roars resounded, the morale of the Northern Plains Immortals soared to an unprecedented height. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had made his move, it had extraordinary meaning. His descendants all felt a huge rise in their morale along with great increase in their strength. How can this be? A Heavenly Court Immortal suddenly stiffened in the air, unable to move. Before him, a famous expert of Northern Plains, Wisdom Path Gu Immortal Lu Hui, let out a breath of air. I was almost killed by you, you were really so close, it is such a pity. Cold sweat dripped down the Heavenly Court Gu Immortal's forehead. Your killer move was clearly unable to bind me. Humph, the amazing one is Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, you take no credit in this. Lu Hui sneered, then what about earlier when our side was suppressed by fate? Moreover, who cares about who the credit belongs to? Life or death, victory or defeat, these are the only important things, go die. He waved his hand lightly, taking the enemy's life. His eyes were narrow and his gaze was chilling as he sized up his surroundings with ill intentions. Who should be next? You cannot break my defense, don't waste your effort. A Heavenly Court Gu Immortal stood steadfast and unmoved, his whole body covered in an extremely tough barrier. Northern Plains Gu Immortal Xianxia took in a deep breath, he felt the vast new strength in his body, his dejectedness from earlier vanished as his confidence soared, the current me is not the same as before. Immortal Killer Move, Decomposition. Xianxia's original name was Yi Lui Hua and he cultivated Rule Path. After becoming a Gu Immortal, he achieved remarkable feats repeatedly, but Yi Lui tribe did not give him the treatment he deserved. In a fit of anger, he defected from the tribe and became a demonic Path Gu Immortal. In his later years, Yi Lui tribe was jointly pushed aside and suppressed by many Huang Jin tribes. Yi Lui Hua, who had become rank 8, was welcomed back to become Yi Lui tribe's first supreme elder in a grand manner and returned to the righteous path. Read more chapter on novel full. He relied on his own strength to achieve feats that was unattainable for ordinary Gu Immortals, making the entire tribe lower its head and admit its past mistake. Yi Lui Hua's life history was painted with legendary tales that stimulated countless future generations. But even after returning to Yi Lui tribe and taking the position of first Supreme Elder, he did not use his original name and still went by Yu Yangzi. How can this be? The Heavenly Court Gu immortal was pale from shock. The defense that he prided himself on continued to break apart before disintegrating completely. With the help of Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, Yu Yangzi directly reversed the position of the strong and weak. The Heavenly Court Gu immortal fighting against him soon died a miserable death. Chink chink chink. 3 Heavenly Court immortals were fighting Yuan Ben. Yuan Ben was a rank 8 Gu immortal who primarily cultivated Bone Path and had shocking battle strength. While he was alive, he was considered the #1 battle strength in Northern Plains Gu immortal world. Even the other 4 regions often heard of his famous name. His physique was not strong-built, instead he was slightly on the bony side. But his whole body was covered in extremely tough white bone armor. He held a white bone spear in his right hand which created a storm when he waved it. In his left hand, he held a bone sword. The sword light it gave off was cold and dark. Yuan Ben roared loudly when he received a portion of the yellow light. His armor suddenly shot out countless bone spikes. One Heavenly Court Gu immortal who was surrounding him could not dodge in time and died miserably after being pierced by hundreds of spikes. Yuan Ben took the chance to rush forward and pierce the second Gu immortal's heart with his spear while slicing off the third Gu immortal's head with his sword. But he did not feel any excitement or joy. Instead he looked slightly sad. It is unfortunate you did not have all your Gu worms and could not display your full strength. Furthermore, I obtained ancestors' help. This battle, there is no honor in winning. Boom! With a loud bang, Duke Long was sent flying like a cannonball. Dragon roars resounded as Duke Long quickly stabilized himself. Suddenly, an enormous shadow shrouded over him. Duke Long quickly raised his head and saw Calamity Luck Altar pressing down like a mountain. Duke Long gave a cold grunt and clenched his fists with no intention to dodge. Lord Duke Long, let me lend you a hand. Heavenly Court Gu Immortal Wu Shuang activated a killer move against Duke Long. Immortal Killer Move, Peerless. Duke Long took a deep breath and punched at Calamity Luck Altar. Immortal Killer Move, Chaotic Dragon Fist. Peerless, Chaotic Dragon Fist. Fist shadows flew and set off a violent gale. Calamity Luck Altar swayed unsteadily as it was struck by tens of millions of fist shadows. This Duke Long is still so absurdly strong. Bing Sai Chuan gritted his teeth. Calamity Luck Altar had also received Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's amplification. Its strength had risen by several times but was still unable to suppress Duke Long. But right at this time, a giant flew over and joined the battlefield. It was 7 Extreme Desolation. Die, Duke Long. The 7 Extreme Desolation giant roared as it spat out countless pitch-black needles that shot towards Duke Long. Damn it! Heavenly Court Gu Immortal Wu Shuang stared with a furious expression. He wanted to help but was blocked by other Northern Plains Gu Immortals. Northern Plains Gu Immortals had rich battle experiences, and these Gu Immortals summoned by call of the Ancient were experts of their eras. After fighting for so long, they were already able to tacitly coordinate. Duke Long was using Chaotic Dragon Fist to block Calamity Luck Altar but suffered from 7 Extreme Desolation's attack at the same time. These pitch-black needles were extremely powerful and had explosive momentum. Duke Long felt a chilling sensation of pain before they even touched him. A sharp light flashed past Duke Long's eyes. Immortal Killer Move, Clear Dragon Vision. With the activation of the investigative killer move, he immediately saw through many details of the pitch-black needles and knew this move contained the essence of Dark Path and was used to counter defensive methods. If he only used his dragon scales or 9 dragons protection, he would probably have countless holes in his body and be heavily injured. Then let's use offense against offense. Duke Long opened his mouth and breathed out heavily. Chi currents surged as they instantly formed an Immortal Killer Move. Immortal Killer Move, Chi Current Scissors. Countless white Chi currents charged towards the pitch-black needles. Chi currents cut through the air like sharp blades, cutting apart all the black needles in their path. Chi current scissors collided with pitch-black needles, each side dissipated by more than half of their original quantity. But there were some that escaped the collision and flew towards Duke Long and 7 Extreme Desolation. Almost at the same time, Duke Long gave a muffled grunt after being pierced by over 10 pitch-black needles, while several bones and muscles of 7 Extreme Desolation's body were cut by Chi current scissors. These injuries were shared by the 7 Big Dipper immortals inside 7 Extreme Desolation. They endured the pain as they coordinated their efforts in activating 7 Extreme Desolation to directly go after Duke Long. Duke Long sighed, he could only retreat. Since the battle started, this was the first time he had retreated on his own initiative. The enemy's momentum was so strong that Duke Long had no choice but to retreat. His killer move Heavenly Dragon's Last Stand could indeed let him be tyrannical among rank 8s, especially during the last moments of his life. He would have complete dominance over rank 8 Gu immortals. But, in front of a rank 9 killer move, Heavenly Dragon's Last Stand paled greatly, losing much significance. Besides the might of the killer move itself, there was also a mysterious and profound change that was occurring. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's attack had been an offensive killer move which originated from Northern Plains and struck Central Continent's Heavenly Court. It crossed 2 regions without any decrease in its power. Heavenly Court's own defense was extremely strong, but it was not a match against Giant Sun's attack. Fortunately, during the critical moment, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable made a move and blocked Giant Sun's attack. But after being blocked, Giant Sun's attack changed its nature and transformed into an amplification method which overturned the whole battle situation. There were 4 main kinds of special techniques regarding the usage of killer moves: consecutive moves, variation moves, attached moves, and split moves. The so-called variation move used a certain killer move as the base and added in new attributes to achieve a different effect. For instance, Fang Yuan's Myriad Self-Killer move was the base for Strength Path Giant Hand. But if Fang Yuan activated the killer move, Myriad Self absolutely would not transform into Strength Path Giant Hand. These two had their own differences. In contrast, Giant Sun's attack seemed to be able to transform at will. One moment, it was an offensive killer move, while immediately after, it became an amplification method. The attainment that Giant Sun Immortal Venerable possessed in using the variation move technique had already surpassed Duke Long's level of understanding. My strength seems to be dissipating. Looks like Ancestor Giant Sun's amplification cannot be maintained for long. We need to stop focusing on fighting, and while the amplification still exists, we need to break through the enemy's defense line and seize Fate Gu. As time passed, the Northern Plains Gu immortals gradually realized something. Giant Sun's attack transformed and became a powerful amplification method, but this strength was quickly dissipating. Giant Sun's attack was much more explosive than Heroes Among People. But looking at the duration and area of coverage, Heroes Among People undoubtedly covered a larger area and could last for a longer time. Duke Long's expression changed. He was barely able to match both Calamity Luck Altar and 7 Extreme Desolation. Now that Northern Plains immortals were all attacking the Refinement Path formation, he was simply unable to defend it. Heavenly Court Gu immortals gathered and formed a defensive line in front of the damaged Refinement formation. But under the berserk rush of the Northern Plains Gu immortals, the defensive line was on the verge of breaking. All kinds of immortal killer moves collided. Gu immortal corpses fell from the sky from time to time. Both sides staked their lives against each other. Gu immortal deaths rose steeply around the thin defensive line. Northern Plains side was betting it all in this one fight, while Heavenly Court members were defending with all their strength. Both sides gained constant reinforcements. Gu immortals awakened from Heavenly Court immortal graveyard and rushed to the battlefield to reinforce the defensive line. While from the phantom image of the River of Time, Northern Plains experts stepped out and went to fight without saying a word. The defensive line was teetering on the edge of collapsing. Fairy Ziwei had already joined the battlefield and was using all her might to resist the Northern Plains immortals' offense. Suddenly, a faint shadow appeared beside Fairy Ziwei. Northern Plains Gu Immortal Expert Lu Lu Lu. This person was a rank 8 expert but did not have a good reputation. When he was alive, he was the only rank 8 Gu immortal in Lu tribe, and according to the customs, he should have inherited the first Supreme Elder's position. But from a young age, Lu 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 had never fought openly and only bullied the weak while fearing the strong. All his attacks were usually sneak attacks. His reputation was so bad that others could not bring themselves to respect or trust him. If he took the position and became Lu tribe's first Supreme Elder, it would instead burden the whole of Lu tribe and affect Lu tribe's image and reputation instead. Lu 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 was an anomaly and a unique existence in the history of Northern Plains. But because of this nature, he was still alive in this battlefield now. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know in report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1737, Heavenly Court's Foundation. Chapter 1737, Heavenly Court's Foundation. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Lu 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 had set foot in the battlefield very early, but within his batch of Northern Plains experts, the others were already killed and only he remained. This battle was too dangerous and fierce. It was very common to see the sacrifice of rank 8 Gu immortals. Lu Lu Lu's achievements in this battle were brilliant, having killed at least 8 Heavenly Court members. With his plentiful battle experiences, he had long been paying attention to Fairy Zi Wei and had already deduced that she was a crucial key in this battle. Now he suddenly sneak attacked, but this attack had been prepared for a long time. At that very instance, Fairy Zi Wei's hair stood on end. She was suffocated with a feeling of fatal danger that filled her mind. Fairy Zi Wei was well aware that she was simply unable to block the enemy with just her defensive methods. But she did not have the time to activate other defensive measures at this point. Right as Fairy Zi Wei was about to die, at the crucial moment, a Heavenly Court Gu immortal rushed out from the side. It was Wu Shuang, who had reinforced Duke Long earlier. Swish. With a muffled noise, Lu Lu Lu's killer move that was like a grey knife pierced through Wu Shuang and even stabbed into Fairy Zi Wei's shoulder. Damn it, this guy blocked most of the attack. Lu Lu Lu's expression rapidly changed as he quickly disappeared on the spot. Fairy Zi Wei was heavily injured but Wu Shuang was dead. Lu 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 disappeared without a trace. Who knew whose life would be gone the next time he appeared? Boom. Read more chapter on novel full. Airwaves surged. Duke Long was sent flying hundreds of steps before he barely stabilized himself. He finally blocked 7 Extreme Desolation's killer move, but the price he paid were his 2 hands and the dragon scales in front of his chest. His hands drooped down powerlessly, his dragon scales were completely destroyed and blood had already dyed his chest. Duke Long immediately activated healing methods, but the dark path Dao marks in his hands were extremely dense. Moreover, they were arranged in a mystical way which greatly hindered the healing effect. Hahaha, Duke Long, you have been struck by our snake lure and dark life entanglement. You still want to recover your injuries in such a short period? Keep dreaming. A voice from within 7 Extreme Desolation sneered. Next, Calamity Luck Altar changed its battle style as it suddenly drilled down into the ground and sneak attacked Duke Long from below. An immortal killer move was activated and struck Duke Long. A giant golden light sphere appeared and trapped Duke Long within it. The light sphere was constantly shrinking, diminishing the space that Duke Long had. His bones were making creaking noises, his dragon scales were falling off continuously and his dragon horns showed evident cracks. Bing Sai Chuan let out a huge breath of relief after seeing Duke Long trapped. Duke Long's speed was too shocking, while this killer move Calamity Luck Altar used was rather slow and would have been difficult for it to land on him. Fortunately, Northern Plains Gu immortals were highly adept in fighting. Because they focused on his weaknesses, Duke Long's attention was drawn to them and he could only defend passively. The coordination with 7 Extreme Desolation was also growing increasingly, thus it created an opportunity for the killer move to strike Duke Long. Crack. A large part of Duke Long's dragon horns fell off. A huge amount of purple hair scattered in the air. The 9-dragon phantoms of 9 dragons protection killer move that coiled around Duke Long's body was barely resisting the huge pressure from the surroundings. Duke Long, your dominance has passed, Fate Gu will belong to my longevity heaven. As for you, death awaits. Bing Sai Chuan's voice spread throughout the battlefield. He could only entrap Duke Long within this short period and could not take his life, but it did not matter, he could use this to lower Heavenly Court's morale. Sure enough, many Heavenly Court members were shaken when they saw Duke Long being trapped. Duke Long suddenly laughed loudly, even if I die here, so what? You Northern Plains Gu immortals are not afraid of death, do you think Heavenly Court members fear death? With just a few words, Heavenly Court's immortals cheered and their morale surged. We went to hibernate because of our responsibilities, it was not because we feared death. What a joke, would we fear death? We are members of Heavenly Court. We defend the glory of humanity, we have never feared sacrifices since the remote antiquity era. The Heavenly Court Gu immortals began to counterattack, not hesitating to use their physical bodies to block the killer moves of Northern Plains Gu immortals. Once there was a chance, the Heavenly Court Gu immortals would disregard their own bodies to attack fiercely and try to take the Northern Plains experts down together with them. Northern Plains Gu immortals were valiant, but Heavenly Court Gu immortals started to go crazy. Damn it! Bing Sai Chuan realized the situation, he had intended to lower Heavenly Court's morale, but Duke Long's words actually destroyed his plan. Bing Sai Chuan sneered, his voice spreading throughout the battlefield once again, laughable. Your sacrifice is meaningless, no matter how many Gu immortals are sacrificed on our side, they are only formed by the killer move of Red Lotus Demon Venerable, they were never alive to begin with. Using these dead people to exchange for your lives, we are definitely the ones winning here. How much foundation does your Heavenly Court have, how long can this go on? Foundation? Duke Long sneered, we have more than enough. He began to retaliate. He was unable to use his 2 hands, but his aura started to inflate as it covered him like a sturdy wall. Duke Long looked at Calamity Luck Altar with a gaze of disdain. Your longevity heaven was founded in the medieval antiquity era and it has only been about 300,000 years. As for our Heavenly Court, it has already been 3,879,687, 3,879,687 years. Calculate it yourself, how many times longer it is compared to your longevity heaven. Don't try to estimate my Heavenly Court's foundation, you can never imagine it in your wildest dreams. Bing Sai Chuan, take a look at the immortal graveyard and then look at your laughable phantom river of time. Bing Sai Chuan's expression sank, but he was silent. He did not need to look, he had all along been observing these 2 areas. There were fewer and fewer Northern Plains Gu immortals coming out from the phantom river of time. But groups of Gu immortals were still awakening from Heavenly Court constantly. Heavenly Court's foundation was truly unfathomable. Duke Long continued, how many people can a tribe have? How many geniuses will rise from a tribe? Bing Sai Chuan, look at our central continent. We chose all kinds of geniuses from all the mortals in central continent. Even if a tribe has a genius, can they truly nurture them? The tribe's blood and familial relations will become obstacles. This phenomenon of familial relations is much weaker in our sections. Moreover, the sex competitions are more fair and transparent. Even if a genius appears in the family of a tribe's higher-ups, how much effort can a tribe's Gu immortals spend to cultivate this genius junior? Gu immortals also have many things to do and are extremely busy. But in sex, a genius junior will receive guidance from many people. From the moment they start cultivating until they become a Gu immortal, they will receive appropriate guidance. There are many missions in sex which provide ample benefits for guiding juniors. Let me ask, how many tribes can do this? Duke Long's voice became louder and was filled with arrogance and pride. Immortals of Northern Plains, you are truly courageous to dare to invade Heavenly Court. Unfortunately, your understanding is bound by your tribal system, you have really underestimated Heavenly Court's foundation. Bing Sai Chuan was silent. He wanted to retort but there were no words he could say. Because the truth was right here in full view. There was a constant flow of Gu immortals awakening from Heavenly Court's immortal graveyard. Over 3 million years ago, remote antiquity era. Primordial origin immortal venerable looked at the surrounding human Gu immortals and nodded slightly. All of Central Continent's Gu immortals have gathered here. There are also a few friends from the other 4 regions. Lord Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable, we hurried here after receiving your call. We will listen to your instructions and teachings. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable smiled and expressed his suggestion. From today onwards, Central Continent will establish sects and take in disciples to impart our skills to the future generation. What? Abolishing the clan system? I had already heard of this rumor, but Lord Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable, you really want to do this? Isn't this too? The human Gu immortals discussed and showed reluctant expressions. Someone tried persuading in a careful tone, Lord Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable, you are the only rank 9 Gu immortal of the current world. If you want to establish your own clan, it will definitely be the #1 super force in the whole world. Your children will inherit your glory and skills. All of our clans will definitely accept your clan's leadership. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable shook his head slightly. He looked at the persuading Gu immortal with a tranquil gaze. Clan? I would like to ask you, in history, have there been any long-lasting clans? Once a clan develops, the ties of blood relationship will become thin. When I had yet to be an immortal venerable, we fought with other variant human forces. Besides our unity, it was because we made use of their internal conflicts. I want to create sects, an organization that does not rely on blood relations. The human Gu immortals kept silent for a while before someone gave a forceful smile. Lord Immortal Venerable, you are correct. Once a clan dominates, it is easy for their unity to become loose. But you are different. You are the first Gu immortal to cultivate to rank 9. There might not even be a rank 9 immortal venerable in the future. As long as you are there in the clan, which member will dare to drift away? With your existence, this will be the clan with the strongest unity. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable nodded. You are right. But what if I am not there? How much longer can I live? The human Gu immortals were dazed. Someone said, Lord Immortal Venerable, you are at your prime right now. Another person said, we will constantly search for lifespan Gu. You will definitely be the Gu immortal who will live the longest in history. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable smiled, saying with a tranquil tone, but I will still die. Who can live forever in this world? He shook his head and sighed, replying to himself, no one. The Gu immortals were silent. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable continued, besides lifespan Gu, other lifespan extension methods all have flaws. But even if we gather lifespan Gu, we all know that lifespan Gu will keep on decreasing in production, isn't that so? The human Gu immortals remained silent. This is heaven's will. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable raised his head, his gaze seemingly piercing through the cave walls, directly observing the clouds and heavens. The way of heaven takes away surpluses while replenishing deficits. There has never been a supreme existence with eternal life. The tallest tree will suffer the greatest damage from the wind, a tall pile of sand will crumble from the rushing tides. New variant human experts will emerge to replace the old. Our human race is also the same. I might be invincible in the world, but it is only temporary. I will die one day. This involves the heavenly Tao, fate, as well as rules and regulations. They are all recorded in the legends of Renzu. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1738, Primordial Origin Heavenly Court. Chapter 1738, Primordial Origin Heavenly Court. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. The atmosphere in the cave became increasingly repressed. A young Gu immortal gave a forced smile. Lord Immortal Venerable, you are only a few hundred years old now. You still have thousands of years and even more than 10,000 years of life left. Isn't it too early to consider this? Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's expression turned solemn. He looked at the young Gu immortal with a calm gaze. The latter could not even last for a few breaths and quickly lowered his head. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable spoke with a serious tone. He who gives no thought to far-flung problems will soon find suffering nearby. If we don't consider this early on and take precautions, after I die, all of our sacrifices will become meaningless. Our hard-earned achievements from countless battles will also crumble and disintegrate. Ignoring anything else, once I die, who among you will be able to take on the responsibility as leader once the variant humans retaliate? Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable asked. The Gu immortals looked at each other. No one spoke. Although humans had risen, they had relied on Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable alone. The others, no matter what ranks they were or even comparing quantity, were far from matching the variant human races. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable heaved a deep sigh. Central Continent is too big. How many human Gu immortals are there, and how many variant human Gu immortals are there? What about mortals? What is the population of the entire human race and what is the population of the variant humans? Our difference is enormous. Even if we can rule Central Continent in our lifetimes and unite this region, what about the other 4 regions? Currently, my strength has been exposed. Variant humans are deeply aware they cannot fight me, so they have already gone into hiding. We don't have any effective methods to find their accurate locations. Especially those variant human Gu immortals' grotto heavens and blessed lands. If they put them outside, we won't be able to notice them even if we are right in front of them. The immortals fully understood the intention of Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable now. Even if the human race rose, it was by relying on Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable alone. And Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's lifespan was limited. He would die one day. Moreover, even right now when he was still alive, it would be very difficult for the human race to unite Central Continent. Variant humans were too difficult to find. They could hide and still continue to thrive. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable was invincible, but he did not have an effective method to dig out their locations. A certain elderly man among the Gu immortals said with a heavy voice, "So, based on Lord Immortal Venerable's words, the way for humanity to rule in the long term is to give up our clan system and establish sects." Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable nodded solemnly, "Yes. How can we win against variant humans and provide a bright future for the whole of humanity? This is not possible with just me alone. Variant humans can hide away in the worst-case scenario. Even if I am invincible, I can only lead Central Continent's humans to independence and make them gain a stable footing in the world. If we truly want humanity to rise, we must rely on ourselves. We must expand our population and also nurture as many Gu immortals as we can. As long as our human race has stronger and many more Gu immortals than the variant humans, humanity's future will be bright. If we use the clan system, what difference is there from the variant humans? We are already extremely behind. If we keep on using this clan system, we will never be able to surpass them. Establishing sects and actively looking and excavating geniuses is the only way. Not worrying about the costs and abandoning prejudices to nurture them, only then will we have the hope of surpassing these variant human races. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable words sent the Gu immortals into silence once again. Many had already regained their calm. They knew Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's words were reasonable. But there were still some Gu immortals who frowned, unable to accept this. A Gu immortal asked, "Can the sect system allow us to cooperate sincerely? Will we really be able to become meritocratic? Does this mean there won't be internal conflict or suppression?" Of course not. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable shook his head. An organization run by people will definitely have selfishness and conflict over personal gains. A clan bases its foundation on blood or marriage relations, while a sect decides based on abilities and talent. The latter is naturally more open and transparent. The limited cultivation resources will go to the more suitable people, which is more beneficial to the overall situation. That person opened his mouth but was unable to criticize the advantage of sects. He could only approach this from another angle. Does this mean clans are unable to find talents? Clans also have the system of absorbing external talents through marriages or adopting children. You are right. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable nodded, but how many marriages can you have? Even if you adopt many children, they will probably be ostracized and suppressed when compared to those blood-related descendants of the clansmen, right? The human Gu immortals finally had nothing to say. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable continued in an earnest voice, I know that the sect system will not truly be accepted at first. We painstakingly seek the way of Gu immortal cultivation, we paid an immeasurable price to obtain success, it is okay if we leave it to our own descendants, but a sect means that we need to give them to outsiders. But the truth is, establishing sects does not mean you are going to casually impart the profundities of your immortal cultivation to others. But you will be choosing geniuses, these geniuses must not only have great innate talent but also have upright moral virtues, and most importantly, they must be loyal to their sect. Furthermore, even if we don't have clans, will that mean your descendants cannot receive your help? Of course not. When these people enter the respective sects, they will naturally receive your care. But I hope you keep these actions quiet and not violate the sect rules openly. As long as we defend the sect rules, our descendants, disciples, and children will also actively abide by the sect rules. As long as we create sects and be united, I believe humanity can truly rise up in the future. My influence cannot extend to the 4 regions far away, but in Central Continent, I hope that everyone will create sects and give up on the clan system. For the sake of humanity, I must emphasize this one point, every Central Continent Gu immortal needs to create or join a sect, you cannot establish a clan. Any future Gu immortal will also follow this rule. If anyone breaks the rule, they will face judgment from me personally as well as the collective force of all other Gu immortals. The human Gu immortals did not utter a single word. When Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable showed a tough stance, they simply could not go against him. But what made them thankful was that Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable did not blindly forbid the clan system. The sect system only applied to Gu immortals, that was to say, mortals and Gu masters could use the clan system to continue living. Moreover, even if Gu immortals established sects, they could still take care of their descendants and friends. This could be considered as Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's compromise towards reality, but this also showed his wisdom and foresight. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable continued, as your leader, I shall set the example. I hereby take an oath that I will create sects and not clans. I will take in disciples and impart my life's learnings to them without holding back anything. Moreover, when I die in the future, my immortal aperture will also be contributed to be the foundation of the sect and it will not be left to my bloodline descendants. Lord Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable. You. The human Gu immortals were all shaken. At this moment, they looked towards Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's calm expression and sensed his resolution to make sacrifices for the sake of the big picture. If even Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable was doing this, what reason did they have to not follow him? Lord Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable, you are correct, I will follow your orders. From today onwards, we will create sects and not clans. The existence of Lord Immortal Venerable is truly the blessing of humanity. Following Lord is definitely the best decision I'll make in my life. Lord Immortal Venerable, I still have some things I don't understand about the sect establishment. Do speak. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable said. What kind of sect do you want to create, where should we build our sects? What rules does a sect have, what are the key factors in establishing a sect? Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable took a deep breath, I have already envisioned the concept of sects for a long time, this plan will involve all the possible aspects we can consider. Take me as an example, first, my sect will be named Heavenly Court. A long time passed. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable answered the questions of all the immortals. They no longer had any doubts. He then looked at the immortals, next, it will depend on you. I believe as long as we widely establish sects and progress, even if I die, humanity will become more prosperous, and if variant humans don't make any changes, they will definitely perish. Please have faith in me. Don't think that our sects are merely a concept and not reality. I believe as long as we go on with our plan, sects will gradually let out dazzling radiance in the long course of history. Heavenly Court and our sects will become renowned throughout the world, and we will become existences that our enemies fear. 3,817,687 years later. Heavenly Court Battlefield. The fierce battle continued. Longevity Heaven, which had obtained Giant Sun's help, occupied the upper hand. However, Heavenly Court members continued to awaken from the immortal graveyard. Who is it? Who has the guts to invade Heavenly Court? This is the fruit of our ancestors' labor. I won't allow you to destroy it. Many people have given up their blood and lives. Longevity Heaven, which operates on a mere tribal system, wants to defeat Heavenly Court. Humph, wishful thinking. Longevity Heaven, you are despicable. For your personal gains, you incited an internal battle among humans. Our Heavenly Court is the sacred land of humanity, the sanctuary of humanity, the rightful leader of humanity. We represent the fighting spirit of humanity. It has not changed since millions of years ago. I will follow Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, and Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable. I will defend our Heavenly Court with my life. Loud shouts resounded as old-looking, young-looking, male, and female Gu immortals walked out of the immortal graveyard to join the battle. Like what Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable said 3 million years ago, his Heavenly Court had become an enormous monster that loomed over the world. His spirit continued to be inherited and had never changed. Countless geniuses were found and nurtured by sects, following after the first Venerable who had died long ago and upholding his spirit and ideology. The Northern Plains Gu immortals were incomparably valiant, but the Heavenly Court immortals were showing an aura of madness. Even if they did not have their immortal Gu, even if they perished together with the enemy, their faces did not show perplexity or fear. Instead, their faces seemed to shine with brightness. The glory of those who defended their beliefs. It was so dazzling and brilliant. Why? We are clearly stronger. Why are we being suppressed by Heavenly Court's momentum? Bing Sai Chuan gritted his teeth, his face turned ashen. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1739, Heavenly Court's Sacrifice. Chapter 1739, Heavenly Court's Sacrifice. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Heavenly Court Battlefield. The battle of rank 8 Gu immortals had already become extremely tragic. Longevity Heaven. Your performance truly disappoints all of us. Humph, Heavenly Court's members really like to brag shamelessly. You have become used to being the leader for too long. Watch now as I wipe the floor with all of you. You and I both belong to the human race. Our internal conflict has actually reached such a state. Northern Plains immortals, you are courageous but you don't have any beliefs. You will never understand our beliefs. Northern Plains Gu immortals perished constantly, but the death of every Northern Plains expert was accompanied by the lives of several Heavenly Court Gu immortals. Northern Plains. Longevity Heaven. Duke Long was extremely furious. Despite being equally matched, the Grand Heavenly Court has actually been forced to such a miserable state. Unforgivable. Boom. Duke Long suddenly raised his arms, finally breaking the sphere that trapped him. But Calamity Luck Altar and 7 Extreme Desolation quickly responded. The three tussled continuously. The situation fell into a stalemate. Quick, quick. Alright, the refinement path formation has finally been repaired. Yuan Cheongdu, it all depends on you now. We will protect you, and unless we die, no one will disturb this refinement path formation. Several Heavenly Court Gu immortals called out as they defended 4 directions, forming a firm defensive line. Because Heavenly Court Gu immortals defended selflessly, the refinement path formation was repaired and the defensive line was re-established. Bing Sai Chuan saw this and quickly got away from Duke Long, trying to destroy Heavenly Court. Don't even think about it. Duke Long gave a loud shout as he used all his strength to hold back Calamity Luck Altar and 7 Extreme Desolation without any regards to his injuries. Bing Sai Chuan was unable to break free, so he quickly mobilized his forces. The Northern Plains Immortals attacked once again. The Heavenly Court Gu Immortals suffered heavy casualties, but with Gu Immortals constantly awakening from the Immortal Graveyard and filling up the gaps, the defensive line instead became more firm than before. Good, now is the time. Lu wanted to quietly sneak in, but his expression soon changed as his concealment was gone and his true body was revealed. A Heavenly Court Gu Immortal, with a large amount of jade pearls floating around him, flew towards him with killing intent. You are the one. The culprit who is stained with the blood of many of my Heavenly Court friends. Your crime shall end here. Is that Senior Yuzhu Zi? Yuan Xiongdu, who was just about to enter the formation, saw this scene by chance and was extremely happy. In history, rank 8 Gu Immortal Yuzhu Zi was most proficient at exposing concealment. From the amount of jade pearls floating around him, he no doubt had most of his immortal Gu. As such, Lu was restrained by him. We can win. With so many Heavenly Court seniors here, we can definitely win. No, more accurately saying, victory will inevitably and naturally belong to my Heavenly Court. Yuan Xiongdu's eyes flashed with resolution. He entered the Gu formation once again and had just taken control of it when he pleasantly discovered this refinement path formation was much superior than the previous one. So that's it. To restore Fate Gu, our seniors have added in so many immortal Gu. Tears appeared in Yuan Xiongdu's eyes. The more immortal Gu used in this refinement path formation, the fewer immortal Gu the Gu Immortals would have, they were more likely to die in the battlefield. This was their sacrifice. A willing sacrifice. I need to continue repairing Fate Gu. Yuan Xiongdu sat cross-legged, his expression was tranquil, but a fire was burning in his heart. It was blazing. A deep memory surfaced within the fire. His master was standing before him. Little Du, you are sleeping at the back of the mountain again. It is not good if you are so lazy all the time. The young Yuan Xiongdu woke up with a resentful expression. Master. He mumbled and said angrily, Master, why don't you transfer me back? I like fire path, a true man should choose fire path. But Little Du, your talent in refinement path is extremely shocking, so Master made you cultivate refinement path. In comparison, your fire path talent is too ordinary. But I like fire path, it looks so cool and awesome in fights. As for refinement path, I have to constantly stay in a secret room and endlessly refine Gu. Not to mention there is high cost, Gu refinement fails frequently and all the effort will be wasted. More importantly, there is a huge danger in refining Gu just like in battle. Rather than dying from depression from refining Gu, I would rather use fire path and die grandly in the battlefield. His master sighed helplessly and said in a serious tone, Little Du, you have to choose refinement path not because you like it but because it is your responsibility. Our refinement path faction really needs a genius like you to invigorate it. Don't let your temperament get the better of you. Little Du, you are already a man, you should accept your responsibility, understood? Young Yuan Xiongdu flung his head back indignantly. Tisk, understood. If this is master's order, I will obey it. His master sighed again. It is not an order, it is your responsibility. Moreover, cultivating refinement path is quite delightful as well, you will feel this delight one day. So, take on the responsibility and refine Gu happily. How can that ever happen? The lazy me has never experienced a moment when such a heavy responsibility weighs down on my shoulders. Right. There is also another feeling, joy. He, ha ha ha. Yuan Xiongdu curled his lips up as he laughed in his head. Tears were overflowing on his face. Master, I finally understand your words. Your disciple did not disappoint you in the end. There is simply no need to divert my attention to protect myself with these comrades here, I do not need to worry. Let's make a push for it. When Fate Gu is completely repaired, I will have completed my responsibility and will not have let down everyone's expectations. After that, I shall happily embrace death. Yuan Xiongdu smiled as he activated a forbidden move. Once this move was used, whether the Gu refinement succeeds or fails, his death would be certain. But so what if that was the case? Some things were much more important than an individual's life. Hidden Dragon Cave Battlefield. For Eastern Sea Gu immortals were surrounding Dragon Palace and attacking madly. The 4 dragon generals were suppressed and could only rely on Dragon Palace to defend themselves. It seems that becoming a dragon man is not without a cost. Come out, didn't you want to trap us? Now, you are hiding inside the immortal Gu house. A bunch of cowards. You really underestimated us. Song Qiyuan, Qin Yuan and the rest were furious as they activated powerful killer moves one after the other, firmly suppressing the other side. Even a kind person gets angry at times, let alone these 4 Eastern Sea rank 8 Gu immortals. Duke Long's scheme and the betrayal of Zhang Yin's group thoroughly infuriated them. They erupted with an extremely powerful battle strength. When comparing the temperament of people in the 5 regions, Eastern Sea was the most gentle and compromising. But such an unmoving and calm sea also had the side of torrential waves and tsunamis. When Eastern Sea people were truly angered, their enemies would comprehend what terror truly was. Suddenly, the attacks of Song Qiyuan's group slowed down. Someone is here. Who is it? It is clearly Heavenly Court's reinforcements. Song Qiyuan's group of 4 quickly changed their tactics. 2 continued to attack Dragon Palace while the other 2 flew out to fight off enemy reinforcements. I can only send you all here. An old Heavenly Court Gu immortal smiled as his body turned into light specks and dissipated. His lifespan was exhausted. Qin Song, you can go peacefully. It is our turn now. These were a number of Heavenly Court Gu immortals that were carefully chosen by Fairy Ziwei. Laughable, coming over so eagerly, you old-timers want us to observe your deaths. Hua Kaiyun and Shen Songxing charged forward. Eastern Sea scoundrels, don't even dream about getting Dragon Palace. Old-timer who has a leg in his coffin already, why don't you just die obediently? Boom boom boom. Both sides fought immediately. Infallible Blessed Land Battlefield. Roar. Countless dragon roars resounded throughout the whole battlefield. Immortal Killer Move, Myriad Ghost Sword Dragon. This compound killer move that comprised Ancient Sword Dragon Transformation, Myriad Self, Yama Child, Emperor Yama, and Familiar Face, was activated once again. He is Fong Yuan. Quick, protect the formation, we can't let him succeed. Fong Yuan, you have such guts. Fong Yuan sneered, you want to stop me now? Too late. Thanks to Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's attack that had attracted the attention of Central Continent's Gu immortals, Fong Yuan was able to activate his killer move smoothly. Myriad Ghost Sword Dragon was extraordinary. Not only did it have huge power, it was also difficult to get rid of. After all, this move expended Fong Yuan's soul path Dao marks. It was similar to Wu Yong's Unlimited Wind. The 9-9 consecutive unceasing formation might be powerful, but its inner core was still weak. After Fong Yuan's countless ghost dragons wreaked havoc, it was already showing signs of collapsing. Fong Yuan turned into Emperor Yama, myriad dragons roared around him and his cold eyes looked at the Central Continent Gu immortals who were helpless to do anything. The 9-9 consecutive unceasing formation started to crumble at its core, from inside to outside. The formation's collapse inflicted powerful backlash to the Central Continent Gu immortals. Without Fong Yuan having to attack, many were heavily injured and on the verge of dying. Fong Yuan really succeeded. Wu Yong mumbled with a complicated expression. Quick, attack them. Yao Huang shouted, his aged and listless attitude was gone as he led the charge heroically. Let me deal with Prince Feng Xian, all of you leave. Hairy Foot Mountain, the location of infallible blessed land, was exposed. You want to repair Fate Gu, wishful thinking. Although it is a slight pity to destroy infallible blessed land, let's end this here. Fong Yuan laughed malevolently as he pointed like an emperor. Countless sword dragons charged down like his fearless soldiers. With me here, don't even think about it, Fong Yuan. At the crucial moment, a figure appeared and blocked the countless ghost dragons. Rank 8 Fire Path Expert, Li Huang. Immortal Killer Move, Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. Countless ghost dragons were filled with drunkenness before they even neared and combusted spontaneously. With me, Li Huang, here, none of you shall move forward. Li Huang shouted. Is that so? Then I will let you have a taste of the consecutive move of Myriad Ghost Sword Dragon. Fang Yuan's eyes shined with cold light. Immortal Killer Move, Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword. Within a few breaths of time, countless ghost dragons gathered into one, forming an enormous pitch-black dragon-marked soul sword. The soul sword floated in the air, its tip was pointing towards Li Huang but it did not move. Immortal Killer Move, Luo Pasil. Fang Yuan struck the soul sword with Luo Pasil. At the next moment, the soul sword quickly stabbed forward. Li Huang hesitated for a moment. The soul sword's speed was astonishing, but he could still dodge with his speed. But right now, he could not dodge. He had to face it head-on. The soul sword quietly pierced through Li Huang. The flame subsided, Li Huang's face became as pale as a dead man's. His eyes were wide open in disbelief, his body collapsed like a kite with its string cut. You dare to face the combined power of both my moves. It was a valiant effort, but you could not be any more foolish. Fang Yuan glanced indifferently. Li Huang was dead. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1740, Karma Relocation. Chapter 1740, Karma Relocation. Lord Li Huang. Oh heavens, how could this happen? Good job. In infallible blessed land battlefield, Li Huang's corpse fell, shocking countless people. Fang Yuan laughed malevolently as he continued to charge towards Hairy Foot Mountain while projecting his icy voice throughout the whole battlefield. Anyone who dares to block me will face this ending. In an instant, his awe-inspiring demonic might shocked everyone. Central Continent's morale fell greatly. A dark light flashed past Wu Yong's eyes, while Yao Huang's group was greatly stunned. Chu Du's expression was slightly complicated. Back when Fang Yuan was undergoing tribulation while rank 6, he had fought with Fang Yuan. Who could have thought that in just a few years, Fang Yuan had already become a person whom he had to look up to? Counting the first time I used Myriad Ghost Sword Dragon, this time's Myriad Sword Ghost Dragon usage as well as Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword, about 10,000 of my Soul Path Dao marks have been expended. Fang Yuan analyzed in his head. Myriad Ghost Sword Dragon was powerful, but it permanently expended Fang Yuan's Soul Path Dao marks. One activation of Myriad Ghost Sword Dragon expended 4,000 Soul Path Dao marks. After killing Li Huang, Fang Yuan's Soul Path Dao marks had been shaved off by 10,000. Naturally, Fang Yuan did not have so many Soul Path Dao marks yet, he was substituting them with Transformation Path Dao marks. In short, Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword was a powerful move that could kill Li Huang who possessed Verdant Sun Flame Cloak, but the cost was extremely high as well. The significance of Dao marks was obvious to a Gu immortal. Permanently expending Dao marks was directly reducing one's foundation, it could not be used easily unless absolutely necessary. Moreover, this move had a flaw, the soul sword speed was not outstanding and could be dodged easily. Fang Yuan knew that Li Huang was protecting Hairy Foot Mountain and could not casually dodge the attack, so he used this move. Hairy Foot Mountain. Looking at Hairy Foot Mountain that was getting closer in his vision, Fang Yuan gave a moved sigh. Who could have thought the majestic and renowned infallible blessed land would be on Hairy Foot Mountain? From the outside, this mountain was extremely ordinary, it was like an inconspicuous hill. But in truth, it was one of the most important areas to Heavenly Court in order to repair Fate Gu, and now had become an area to determine victory or defeat in this arduous battle. Fang Yuan. At the next moment, another figure appeared and blocked Fang Yuan's path. It was Chen Yi. Wu Yong did not kill you, then let me end your life instead. Fang Yuan called out as he prepared Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword once again. Chen Yi's face turned solemn. Even Li Huang had perished, he did not have any confidence in facing Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword. This is... At the crucial moment, Chen Yi suddenly felt his chest burning as if a hot iron was pressed on his flesh. A powerful and mysterious force circulated and permeated his body. Following the surging of this strength, Chen Yi's clothes were ripped apart, revealing his chest. There was a painting on his chest, the painting of a tall tree wavering in the wind. Ah! Chen Yi cried out in shock, "Isn't this painting the one which was engraved on my body when I inherited Genesis Lotus True Inheritance many years ago?" At the same time, information was directly transmitted to his mind. "This is Lord Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's arrangement." Chen Yi was surprised and happy. He quickly activated the strongest ability according to this information. Immortal Killer Move, Karma Divine Tree. Immediately, green smoke rose from Chen Yi's body. The smoke gathered 6 feet above his head, gradually slowing down to a stop and circulating within itself, forming into the shape of a tree. The tree was thick and sturdy with dense amounts of branches and lush leaves, and there were dozens of fruits hanging on it. But these fruits were very weird. They were in all kinds of shapes, colors and sizes. Some were like black peaches, some were pink but large like a basin, some had spikes on them, some had transparent skin, the flesh and core could be seen from the outside. Karma Divine Tree formed quickly and the power within the painting transferred to Karma Divine Tree. Chen Yi seemed to have heard Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's voice. "Look closely, this is the consecutive move built upon Karma Divine Tree, Karma Relocation." The killer move activated, as if intense winds were blowing. The green smoke flickered as Karma Divine Tree started to sway and dance in the wind. Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword attacked like a meteoric thunderbolt. But just when it neared Karma Divine Tree, with a whoosh, Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword suddenly disappeared. What? Fong Yuan was shocked. At that instant, he sensed that his connection to his killer move Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword became negligible, as if Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword was suddenly worlds apart from him. What method is this? It seems like instant transportation. Fong Yuan immediately narrowed his eyes as sharp light flashed past them. The connection between immortal killer moves and Gu immortals had a certain limit in range. When it surpassed this limit, the immortal killer move would usually break apart. Fong Yuan's Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword was based on the killer move Myriad Ghost Sword Dragon and carried the trait of enslavement path, thus he could still maintain a trace of connection even if it was teleported over 10,000 li away. But this connection was extremely faint. If it surpassed this distance even a little, the killer move would collapse by itself. If that happened, Fong Yuan would suffer the backlash of killer move failure. Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword was so powerful, its backlash absolutely would not be weak and would definitely make him cough out blood. It can forcibly teleport killer moves. Wu Yong obtained the information from Fong Yuan. "Then let me see how you deal with my farewell friend Wind." Wu Yong sneered. His figure appeared behind Chen Yi. Immortal killer move, Farewell Friend Wind. But Wu Yong had just touched Chen Yi's shoulder when his vision changed. In an instant, he was teleported away from infallible blessed land, returning to southern border. This? Wu Yong was dumbfounded as he stood at the peak of the mountain. Soon afterwards, he came to his senses. His face was extremely dark as he quickly sent the information. Even rank 8 Gu immortals can be forcibly sent away. What killer move is this? Karma Divine Tree still had such a mysterious ability. The southern border and northern plains immortals were shaken while central continent's morale rose again. "We will continue defending like this." Chen Yi was exulted, but Fong Yuan's voice made him solemn once more. Fong Yuan shouted, "I found it." His teleportation ability seems to be unstoppable, but there is a limit in the amount of times he can use it. Because after using it twice, 2 fruits were consumed. It was discovered so quickly. Chen Yi smiled bitterly. "Let me try." Heavenly Lord Baizu flew over, his body shook slightly as he split into countless clones and charged forward like a giant wave. This was a classic enslavement path battle tactic, a battle of attrition style. Karma Divine Tree swayed with the wind, a fruit suddenly disappeared. Heavenly Lord Baizu's main body disappeared. Fang Yuan's group received his message shortly afterwards. He was teleported to Eastern Sea. The immortals were in a clamor. Fang Yuan sank into deep thought. This time, Heavenly Lord Baizu's main body was directly teleported away. The enslavement path battle tactic has failed. According to conventional reasoning, shouldn't it be teleporting each clone? It actually directly affected the main body. This time, Yao Huang's group charged over. Slow down, Brother Chu, you guys attack first. Fang Yuan instructed. Chu Du attacked. He used a long-range attack on Chen Yi, but he quickly disappeared on the spot. He was teleported back to Northern Plains, ending up in the Northern Icy Plain. Moreover, because the distance was too long, he lost connection with the killer move he used. The killer move broke apart and he suffered the backlash. Several people attacked next, but they were all teleported away. Fang Yuan suddenly came to a realization. It seems that my main body is not influenced by this killer move because I am a complete otherworldly demon. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan started a fierce wave of offense. However, Karma Divine Tree might be unable to influence him, but it could affect his killer moves. Fang Yuan's methods were all teleported away. The range was either far or short. Some were teleported to some place in Central Continent, some were sent to other 4 regions, and some were even teleported to Black Heaven and White Heaven. Naturally, Chen Yi also did not have a good time. It did not take long before he began to bleed from his 7 orifices and his face was getting increasingly pale. The burden to sustain such a wondrous killer move was clearly huge. Damn it, Hairy Foot Mountain is clearly in front of us, but because of Chen Yi alone. Yao Huang clenched his teeth in helplessness. Qin Yi and the rest quickly arrived and fought against the Northern Plains and Southern Border Immortals. Fang Yuan dodged the attack of wind-sweeping building and sent many myriad ghost sword dragons to attack Chen Yi. Karma Divine Tree was constantly shaking. Countless myriad ghost sword dragons disappeared, teleported to random locations. It was okay for those that were teleported nearby, but those that were teleported far away broke apart immediately, inflicting backlash on Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan felt that this situation was troublesome. Weak killer moves cannot expend Karma Divine Tree's fruits even if they are teleported away. A strong killer move can expend 1 fruit, but if it is teleported beyond the distance I can control, I will have to endure the backlash and might even be heavily injured if I am unlucky. Fang Yuan did not dare to use Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword. He currently did not have Winter Coat or Reverse Flow Protection Seal to rely on. His defensive methods were weaker than Li Huang's. If Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword failed, he would be in great trouble from the backlash. Fang Yuan's luck was quite good as the previous Myriad Fusion Ghost Dragon Sword did not inflict backlash on him. What do I do now? Fang Yuan was anxious. Bing Sai Chuan had been transmitting the situation in Heavenly Court to him. Fang Yuan knew that the repair of Fate Gu had started again. This is a wood path method. I don't have much attainment in this path and won't be able to decipher it within a short period of time. Looks like I can only use a crude method. We will compete in a battle of attrition. By Ning Bing, you all can go ahead and fight now. Fang Yuan's eyes shined sharply as he sent the command resolutely. Bai Ning Bing and other rank 7 Gu immortals charged towards Hairy Foot Mountain. Karma Divine Tree activated. Every time it teleported a rank 7 Gu immortal, a fruit was expended. Fang Yuan actually found the best countermeasure so quickly. Chen Yi felt anxious, his eyes were filled with blood and he was in a very weak condition. A large number of rank 7 Gu immortals were teleported away. Finally, Karma Divine Tree's fruits were all spent. Karma Divine Tree without any fruits faded away with the wind. Chen Yi lowered his head, his aura had fallen to an extreme point of weakness. You dare to block my way, die. Fang Yuan charged fiercely. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible.